1 minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
My summer is going to be ruined. They're going to put a pin in my right pinky, so I'm not going to be able to do anything for about 4 weeks.
Do you think you could live stream your pinky surgery?
Does anyone know? Am I unconscious for that?
No, that's a local anesthesia. When I got my wisdom teeth, I was actually living in New York City. Usually you're supposed to have someone come meet you at the doctor's office once you're under general anesthesia.
I like where this is going.
Yes, but I was alone. I didn't have anyone to come, so they were like, oh, well, we'll just get you a taxi cab. And I don't know what I told the guy about where I lived, but all of a sudden, I'm seeing the numbers getting higher and higher and higher. I lived all the way downtown. They had to go all the way around, and he dropped me off. I had him drop me off at a supermarket, and I bought God knows what.
Ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream.
That sounds like a good time.
La-di-da.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Man, I wish somebody put me out before I saw the schedule getting released today. What up? Welcome to Maggie and Perloff. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff across the country on CBS Sports Radio. We're also streaming live, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Not a fan, guys. Not a fan of what the NFL is doing so far. We're getting leaks and dribs and drabs of what's coming out with the NFL schedule, and I got major issues with the league right now.
7 games are out, and you already have major issues?
Yes, major.
But keep in mind, everyone out there, that we already knew all the opponents before
this.
It's just not even the opponents. It's the actual timing of these games has you fired up.
Yeah, I don't understand why the NFL is doing this. Like, to me, there's a lot of simple things here, and they're breaking some major rules. Now, this year, fortunately, unfortunately, however it goes, New Year's Eve happens to land on a Sunday. So we have Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve are on a Sunday, right? That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But I hate, underscore, all caps. Why would you put the Bengals and the Chiefs, one of the great young rivalries that we have right now, the last 2 AFC championship games, why would you put that on New Year's Eve? Everyone hates New Year's Eve games. And guys, I'm not even a New Year's Eve person. I'm not a big holiday. New Year's Eve, it's amateur night, all that. But I hate it when the college football playoff games are on New Year's Eve. And I don't like now having a marquee NFL game. If you're going to have a full slate, okay, you can't help that. The calendar is what it is. But don't give me an all-time great game on New Year's Eve.
Oh my gosh. You don't think that's a bit of a jump to call this an all-time great game? The Chiefs, haven't they played 3 years in a row?
No, they play just like, but they play, of course, where the Bengals have beaten the Chiefs in both regular season, the last 2 regular season games, but they've met in the last 2 AFC championship games. They split 1-1. Like, this is always a great game. Don't do this, NFL.
Well, so you'd rather, what game so you put the worst game on the Chiefs schedule for that day?
Yeah, just put a nondescript one, you know? Like, it doesn't have to be a rivalry.
Like so what if it was the Chiefs-Chargers? That can be a classic game, too.
Chiefs-Chargers, I would not put there. Put Stu's Raiders there. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to do... Listen, I know the Raiders have a big fan base. I'm not going to denigrate the Raiders. But you can find a non-AFC West opponent and not the Bengals.
Well, okay.
They're not going to do this when the Chiefs play the Eagles, and that's just our Super Bowl rematch. They're not going to do this, obviously, when the Chiefs play the Bills, and I could argue Chiefs-Bengals is better than Chiefs-Bills.
Don't you feel like this is a slight overreaction?
Because not at all. The NFL,
listen, my God. All right, we need some...
tell me, because I hate
someone call in and talk Maggie off the cliff here.
Listen, I really, really dislike the New Year's Eve games. Like, listen, sports, I don't know how people feel about Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't love those games either.
So what are they going to do? When are they going to play Week 17 and Week 16?
No, I understand when it lands on a Sunday, there might be things you can't do, but you could also move them to Saturdays. It's unfortunate with the holidays. Like Thanksgiving, the NFL has kind of taken over, right? But the reason why I really don't love when the NFL puts like the big games on these holidays is because you might have other things you're doing. I know the NFL doesn't want to hear that, but you might have other things you're doing, like visiting family and doing things like that, where you want to give attention to your families. And then, I don't know, you guys tell me if this is what you're like.
I'm so stoked about the New Year's Eve is a different one, but the Christmas is great.
Well, you got Eagles Giants now, right?
Yeah. That's on Monday. That's Christmas Day. But the Christmas Eve stuff, oh, thank God there's a full slate. Because
you don't want to talk to your family?
No, and I think a large, overwhelming majority of Americans like that. I don't think people mind these holiday games.
I'll tell you what.
New Year's Eve is going to be fun. It's 4:30 on New Year's Eve. It's not like you're going to be out and about at 4:30.
No, but it's not about me being out and about, but you might have people who you want to see family, you want to go on vacation. Maybe you live in the Northeast, you might want to go skiing. If there's still snow ever in this world, who knows?
You're telling me, oh, you're right, because the NFL should look at the skiing schedule. Come on, they're going to get 45 million people here. So they'll lose a couple bougie New Yorkers who are off in Vermont skiing.
New Yorkers. No. Is there any part where you're just like, I know you're going to play a game because it's on Sunday and that's just how it goes. But do you have to put this kind of game there?
This kind of game. I mean,
listen. You got to put a game that
I like having this game. I like having this game at the end of the season because it might be for home field in the playoffs. So that's interesting. I would rather have this at Week 17 than Week 5.
We'll put it the week before then. You can still put it in December when you're playing meaningful games, and it doesn't have to be December 31st.
But one thing, I wouldn't put it Week 18 because those games often are mathematically out.
Yeah,
I think their thinking was, oh, man, this is going to be a real showdown for a position. This could be like one of the only, it's hard to get meaningful games out late in the season. Why not put this one? And I've also read, and I'm curious what you think of this, that Kansas City, Cincinnati will not be the opener because they want to make sure one of the top 5 markets is in the opener.
Okay. I mean, see, the NFL's fine manipulating things that way.
But I don't know if that's true because it could be Kansas City and Buffalo.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a top 5 market, obviously.
Philly's, I think, the 5th market, so that would are right around there. So.
Yeah, but we know that's not happening because Donna Kelsey was on Facebook.
Oh,
this is real. Too? I mean, it's since been deleted, but Donna Kelsey put on Facebook that the Chiefs are going to play the Eagles in Week 2.
That's a big game. It's the Kelsey Bowl. Well,
I presume that Donna would know. Would she know?
I would think so because it's her 2 sons.
I know, but how do they know? Schedule's not out yet.
But it's sort of out internally, I think. Like, there is definitely people.
No, they are. You want to know why? The social media teams, how they put together all those things where they go week by week by week. Someone probably tipped off.
Wait, what about, are you going to be upset or happy if it's the Chiefs-Bills in the opener?
I don't care. Listen, if the NFL thinks that's a good enough game, why? Because I'm a Bills fan?
No, I'm just curious. Like, is there... Yeah, as a Bills fan.
They have our attention with the opener.
Right.
They know everyone's super excited. I'm talking about New Year's Eve. I'll say this. I don't like New Year's Eve when it's the college football playoff either. I don't love games on New Year's Eve.
This one's a little earlier. How about that? Does that...
Oh, whatever. I still don't like it.
So,
other thing, about Christmas, why don't they put the games on Saturday? Do they have to put the games on Sundays?
I was curious about that. I thought, and we have to look at this. There are years I feel like they have moved the whole schedule to Saturday. But I feel like that's Christmas Day, not Christmas Eve. So in 2017, they had this same exact situation, and they played it out, and I don't remember anyone's holidays being ruined like you were claiming it was.
Okay.
I don't remember you texting me saying, oh, my God, this is the worst holiday I've ever had because I have to stay up and watch the Browns-Bengals.
No, it's just sometimes your attention, it can be hard. Like, you have family, everyone wants to do.
God, no. I mean, honestly,
sorry, I'm in the minority.
The pandemic proved none of us want to spend time with our family. This was, honestly, that was the one silver lining of the pandemic was, oh, thank God we don't have to spend time with extended family during the holiday. I think, trust me, do you honestly think they're going to have any kind of ratings trouble with this? We will all be tuned in for this game.
I know that they have us over a barrel here. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. All right, I guess I'm the minority here. I don't love the holiday games, and especially the New Year's Eve. It's like, again, I'm not partying late into the night. Those days are over for me. But I want that day free because a lot of Americans, and us included, we're lucky. We have vacation days and we get paid time off and all of that. We're in a privileged spot. But a lot of people might not have a lot of time to spend with their family. Those moments can be kind of sacred. And now it's like, do we watch the football game? Do we do family stuff?
Well, I think the probably reason is a lot of people have off work those days because a lot of stores are closed. Right. So they have more people at home who would otherwise miss it.
No, I know, but those can be precious moments for people. Not everyone has time to sit around and watch,
but they also might be stuck working at the Gap and miss the Chiefs-Bengals game on a Thursday. So this is good because a lot of people are home. And I think when people are home, even with family, I think they still want to watch games. I love it. It's such a great thing to do with my family. I love what a big game's on. I know, but
your family are really big sports fans.
Yeah,
like
so
even your mom's a big sports fan. Like there's a lot of other people sometimes where moms, aunts, uncles might not be as in. I know this sounds ludicrous to the audience we're talking to and between you and me, but there are some people who want to actually spend the holiday together and not watch a football game.
I don't want to know any of those people.
I love it's just like a dismissal.
No, I mean, what kind of crazy person would rather sit and talk to his Aunt Edna from Louisville instead of watching the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals? And who's not going to be stoked for that game on 4 o'clock on December 31st?
The NFL is now our family. It's not just like it's our religion and now it's our family. It's taken over every part of our life.
Obviously, it has. I think part of the reason that this has become such a hubbub, it's the longest offseason, so we're all jonesing for football. All the other sports have a shorter offseason. So I think that's why it feels so big. But obviously, just the fact that we're talking about it now shows how much buzz there's going to be around. It's going to be huge. It's going to be really exciting.
Well, there's also a lot of college football that's going on. It's like there's a lot of time spent here watching football. 855-212, which I know we love, and I know I do this for a living, so I'm excited. But
I remember last year.
Think about like the world.
There was a span where I went 70. I think you did too. With 72 hours straight of football. It was. I think during the Final Four, it was amazing.
It was. There is like an imprint on my couch that should just be bronze, just like where my butt was sitting.
Yeah, I don't remember anyone, not a single person complaining that, we didn't get enough quality time with weird Uncle Willie, who's going to tell you about his newest fishing lure. Oh, great.
Maybe this is weird because I like my family. 855-212-4CBS.
Wait, I know you like your immediate family, but you can't possibly tell me you like your extended family. Because you would be the first person I ever met who can say that.
I don't spend the holidays with my extended family.
Well, okay, no wonder.
It's only
of course.
The inner circle.
So if it's the inner circle, I know your inner circle. You're turning on the game and you're going to enjoy it.
Just like we do every year. Again, 855-212-4CBS. I have a personal bone to pick also with the NFL, but I'll save that for a second. Let's hit the phones early here because I want to hear from you about this one. Jim's in Chicago. Does not see this the way I do. What's up, Jim? How are you?
I'm doing great, Maggie and Perloff. I love listening to the show. I am a big fan of having the NFL, particularly on Christmas Day, because then we don't have 18 hours of NBA jammed down our throats.
You're just trading in one sport for another. That doesn't mean you're still spending any time with your family or anything.
Well, the family's all there. I mean, there's football pools going on.
Yeah, the best part, right? Yeah, I know. I love having family around for football games because we usually spend it at my in-laws, and my father-in-law is in the best mood. He's like, I'm so excited to watch this game with you.
Okay, but wait a minute. And, Jim, I get where you're coming from, and thank you so much. Obviously, Jim, not a huge NBA fan, and the NFL told the NBA, kick rocks. I mean, they took over this day, and they will never look back. You're going to have Eagles-Giants on Christmas Day.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. I'm just going to paint a picture for you, and I'm not wishing or hoping this on you, but I'm just going to paint a picture. Eagles lose by 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts gets hurt.
From your lips to God's ears.
No. I know, Carlos, you're a big Giants fan. I'm not wishing this on you. I'm just saying what can happen. That's going to ruin the holiday for you.
You're saying they shouldn't schedule a Christmas Day game because someone's got to lose?
It's going to ruin Christmas. For you. I mean, for Carlos, it will make his day.
I guess that would ruin Christmas, but...
It definitely would.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That game, the Giants, come on. It's in New York. It's in New York. It's up to an 8-point spread in New York.
By the way, anyone who would bet on a point spread on May 10th is out of their mind unless
so I
you
should
did
retract
it.
my bet.
Wait, unless you two did this morning.
What was it? What was the divisional round game? 31-7. But honestly, the Eagles probably could have won that by 50. This is the Giants we're talking about. That's an early Christmas gift.
You don't know
Daniel
who's going to be playing.
What'd you get for Christmas? 3 Daniel Jones interceptions.
Oh, man. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. See you guys on the phones. Want to weigh in on this again. I also have a very personal bone to pick with the NFL. We'll save that for a moment because they're hosing my team. Hosing. Hose. I don't know what my team did
the Central
to
New York,
tick off somebody in the league office.
The Central New York / upstate New York Maggie is coming out. In fact, the headline would be, local woman has strong take.
Local woman has meltdown on radio show.
Oh, my God. I can't wait to share this one. This is great. This put a cloud over my whole day. Cloud. And it's nice here today.
So worse than the Max Scherzer news from the past few days?
Thank you, Stu. As if today couldn't get worse. Thank you. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. And get to that. See you guys on the phones. We also got a potential elimination game for the Warriors tonight. We'll get to that in just moments. You're locked in to Maggie and Perloff, CBS Sports Radio. If you want to watch the show, come on aboard. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Say hi to the Weedos and the Purple Drinkers in the chat. We're back in a minute.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. minute, 30 seconds remaining. Minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
We're back on Maggie and Perloff. Carlos, love it. What song is this? Do 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 do. Was it Spin Doctors? Gin Blossoms?
Well, you got the tune right. It's Third Eye Blind. Third
Eye Blind. Oh yeah.
I know this is the song that always, the moment it comes on, for a second I think it's Hanson's Bop, but then I realize it's
remember
Third
that
Eye
Travis
Blind.
Diva song.
Third Eye Blind and Gin Blossoms. I feel like that's it. That's like a neighborhood play. That's basically the same band, right?
Same era.
Yeah. So
Spin Doctors too. You're right. That's a little 90s, very 90s.
Yeah, very, very 90s. So let's paint a picture of the Maggie Gray household during the holidays, just before we get in the NFL schedule release. Sitting there with a fire roasting, catching up with her family.
Yep.
Hey, honey, why don't we turn on the football game? No, I really want to know what you've been doing the last year. We're not going to watch NFL football. I can't believe they put it on a holiday, and now I can't catch up with my family.
No, this all started because I've got a bone to pick with the NFL that I don't like them putting Chiefs-Bengals, what has become a great rivalry in the NFL. Don't put that one on New Year's Eve.
Well,
don't put that one on a holiday.
425 on New Year's
Okay,
Eve.
but still, it's just
They're putting the whole schedule. There'll be 3 other games that time.
I know. I wish they would either move everything to Saturday or, some of these days, people might actually want to move around, go see people, not just be totally locked into their TV for 12 hours.
Well, okay, let's move it to Saturday, the 23rd or the 30th. What are they going to do?
That's not a holiday.
So they can sit around and do nothing that day?
Well, maybe. You're more likely to be able to sit around on that day than you might have people coming over.
No, you're more likely to be home on the holiday. That's what you do on the holiday. You stay home.
Well, but some people stay home and other people travel to go see other people.
And you might travel on that Saturday too. I think that the holidays are traditional home day. We're going to talk to someone from the NFL tomorrow. I think they know. They have you trapped on Christmas Day and New Year's Day because nothing's open. Where are you going to go? There's no mall.
Listen, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us. They've already got us. The NFL is not just our religion. Now they're our family. They have infiltrated every holiday. They own us. I get it. But New Year's Eve, I don't love games on New Year's Eve. I didn't like when the college football playoff games were on New Year's Eve either. But that's me, 855-212-4CBS. Let's get to Jeff, who's in Richmond. He's got the opposite view. What's up, Jeff? How are you?
Maggie, your cloud over the day was my sunshine. I was fist pumping in the car when I heard that on Christmas Eve and day I'm going to get football, because before my brother-in-law came along, I'd have to bring my laptop to my in-laws events and just kind of watch along, and now they have to consider us for this. And there's so much family time that can be had between those 48 hours, and like Andrew said, everything's closed. I'm not saying we have to be glued to the TV for all of it, but can I at least get it in the background? Like this is only making the day better. Of course, I want to talk to my family, but damn it, I need to be able to see. I need to be able to see what's going on. And I think that also with the New Year's Eve and stuff, like, and with, you know, there's been a lot of cutbacks for people, and so I had to give up college football because I'm married now, and I can't just watch both on both days.
Yeah,
you don't have time.
Yeah.
So and giving them to me on the holidays is a gift that my uncle NFL, I just embrace it.
Uncle Roger. That's who it is,
yes.
Jeff. Uncle Roger Goodell came in and saved the day. Jeff makes a lot of good points, and thank you for the phone call. Having to be relegated, I've been that person where you got to get like the laptop out, or you're trying to secretly watch on your phone while everyone else is doing something. It's tough. You know, I've been the person watching the playoff baseball game at dinner. You know, it's not a pleasant place to be. Sometimes you just have to put it on the TV.
Yeah, I told you about my issue is the NFL. My in-laws in Boston don't get the NFL Network. So I actually haven't seen all the programming, but I better not lose anything there. That'd be bad. And then there's some games that don't go on the new YouTube Sunday Ticket platform. I've had some bad experiences here, Maggie. I've been through. I've adversity in my background here.
Poor you.
Yeah, I was
oh my gosh, Perloff. I didn't know you'd been through so much.
The word grit comes to mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. Football watching grit.
That's when I think of grit, I do think of you. Let's get to look at this. Is this the Largent Parks from the chat?
Maggie, the Weedos have your back. Whatever you need us to do, just let us know.
Appreciate you guys. I'm sending you the secret signal right now. Yeah. Thanks, Largent. How you been?
Very good. I just want to thank y'all very much for the package I got in the mail from you and Stu and Nick and Andrew, and I love the photograph, and I loved Andrew's signing that he couldn't believe I beat him. I had written in the chat my only goal was to beat Andrew, so it was just a lot of fun.
Accomplished. Wait, let me back up. So Largent was part of the Perloff Season 2 Pearl Jam, which was our NCAA tournament pool. Largent won, so Nick in Texas, who is one of our faves, friends of the show, actually just had some crazy tests that he was taking too. So glad that he's maybe getting through those now. Put together a little special care package, and then Perloff and I added to it with signed headshots and T-shirt and stuff like that. And so, Largent, I'm glad you got it, and congrats to the victor goes the spoils.
And so can I put a shout-out for Nick real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Can we get him those sunglasses that were promised to him?
Yes. We forgot the sunglasses. Thank you, Largent. I'm writing it down. Stu, can you write this down? Largent, we'll see you in the chat, pal. Thank you, and congrats
Maggie,
again. Yes.
You're too nice. You're so nice. And when you're ready to turn heel, I would like to be your special counsel. But till then, you're just the nicest lady ever on radio.
Aww.
Very good. Thank you, Largent.
You don't know her in real life, Largent. You have no idea.
All an act. No, Largent, thank you so much. My heel turn is coming. I can feel it.
Yeah, I think you just need, if the Mets and the Bills and all your teams just fall apart just enough, and trust me, I think you're wobbling already. You're
if
wobbling.
anything happens to Josh Allen, I'm turning heel.
Yeah. You're definitely heading in that direction. I can see the screws coming loose. By the way,
Stu,
Nick,
sorry, can you make a note? We need to send Nick the glasses from the air premiere.
So Nick in Texas sent me a note late last night.
Okay.
He's already predicting. I believe it's his Lakers and my Sixers are going to be in the finals, and he wants to set up the all-time show bet.
Oh, my gosh.
So
are we ready for this?
Yeah. So basically, last time I had to dump a barbecue sauce on my head in a hat.
Yeah, cowboy hat.
Yeah, he thinks the Lakers and the Sixers are going to be there, and it's going to be an epic show bet, which would be cool.
I was surprised. So sportsbooks today put the Los Angeles Lakers as the odds-on favorite to win the title.
Yeah, the Sixers are the favorite in the East, which is, I guess, makes sense, but... I mean,
makes sense.
Well, it just makes sense. I mean, the Celtics have been the favorite, and they haven't really been playing well. They didn't look great in that Atlanta series. Remember last year, the Brooklyn Nets were the favorites up until the very end, which was bizarre.
Yeah, they got swept.
By the way, I know this is a big concern with you, these New Year's Eve ratings, but it's just a little research I found.
Okay, what do you got?
The two most watched college football games of last year, including the national title game, were the two New Year's Eve games. 22 million for Georgia, Ohio State. 21 million for TCU, Michigan. That's a rather large number.
Yeah.
Then 2 years ago.
Do you remember, though, the TCU Michigan game went so long, it went like into the ball dropping on the East Coast?
Nope. That was the first game.
Sorry, what was the second game?
It was Georgia.
Sorry,
Ohio State.
Whatever. It was because the TCU Michigan game went so long as the first game. The second game got delayed and went into the ball drop on the East Coast.
Did it land past midnight?
I believe so.
Well, anyway, it was one of the most highly rated games of all time, which was Georgia Ohio State. And then the year before, NFL had a New Year's Eve game that got 19 million with the Packers and the Vikings, which was the 5th highest Sunday Night Football game of the year. So they're going to get huge eyeballs here.
Don't they always, though? How about Landon, who's in Savannah, Georgia, as we go back to the phones at 855-212-4CBS. Landon, how are you?
Hey, Maggie, I think you're trapped from like the 1950s or 60s where people get together all weekend and talk. Because,
I know.
I mean, most people, Christmas is Monday, so if you're coming from out of town, they'll probably be there Friday night, Saturday. Plenty of time to find out what they've done. And then for the rest of us that don't really want to talk to our families, we can enjoy a day. And
yeah.
There is nobody who wants to talk to their family. These are fictitious people.
Honestly, Landon just nailed it. I mean, you're right. You get the Friday and Saturday. You're more than caught up. What do they say? House guests are like fish. Goes bad after 2 days or 3 days. So here's something I'm just dawned on me. Landon, thank you for the phone call. Maybe I'm the problem. Carlos is nodding at me. I just realized this. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm that person at the holiday that keeps yapping and talking to everybody.
People
and
desperately
everyone wants me to shut up to put the game on.
Well, I can't
just dawned on me, by the way. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
I do talk a lot.
I don't know.
This is bad. What if I'm that family member that everyone's like, she never shuts up? Thank you, Ack, for laughing at that.
But the New Year's Eve, though, is different. That's Christmas. That's one thing. What are these? I'm just curious. What are these amazing plans that are going to be disrupted by a 4:00 Chiefs-Bengals game that you got going on?
What's that? Sorry, I was in my own head. Like, am I the loser at the holidays? Sorry, go ahead.
What are these amazing plans that you have a 4:00 on New Year's Eve that get disrupted by the Bengals Chiefs? Are you getting a gown fitting or something?
My first Casamigos. I'm afraid I'm not going to remember them.
Yeah, at 4:00. First of all, a lot of people are actually working that day. It was no, it's a Sunday. Yeah. It's not a Sunday, but generally the 31st, I think, is viewed as a normal day, right? It's the first
the first that's technically the holiday. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that you're going to get everybody all fired up on this one. We'll see. Maybe there's someone who agrees with you.
Nope. Oh wait, yes, Nick in Portland. Nick is in Portland, Oregon. Hey, Nick, what's up?
Hey guys, I actually agree with both of you. Where Maggie, where it's in terms of a time thing, why would they put such a primetime game on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve? And, I mean, they already have it 3 days a week, 4 days a week. And people, like your significant other that doesn't like sports ball, I could see how it can get kind of annoying. Like, I would be annoyed if she had to turn into, like, a live taping of Keeping Up with the Kardashians 4 times a week. And she had to be there live for it for, like, an hour and a half. And then the Perloff, I would agree with Perloff where it's like, those games are still on a Sunday and Monday, so they're keeping up to their regular days. And if I did it for a living, I would just be like, too bad I get paid for this. So.
Yeah. No, our families are used to that, Nick, but thank you so much. That's funny to think about the opposite if you have someone who doesn't like sports. Like, well, we've got to watch Real Housewives. Got to do it and got to watch it now. Can't DVR it. Must be watched right now.
One thing, too, I thought of another way to counter your argument of many ways. They keep popping in my head here. So why would you not want a good game in that situation? Because imagine if you had a dog in that situation, these standalone holiday games. So Kansas City, Cincinnati should be a great game, 60 minutes of football.
Yeah.
What if you had Kansas City against Stu's Raiders and it was 42-21 at half?
That happened last year, wasn't it? Didn't the Rams play a stinker on Christmas last year? Right. I believe they did.
Broncos, right?
I think it was a Baker Mayfield, the second start with the Rams. The first one we remember, that was heroic.
Against the Raiders, yes.
Right. Of course it was.
The second one was against Russell Wilson. I feel like he threw like 8 interceptions or something like that.
Yeah, it was wild, but it wasn't really a game.
Yeah.
Was that a high-scoring game or am I?
It was, and I think that was the Nickelodeon game too.
Oh, was it the Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Wild. Quickly, let's get to Jim. Jim disagrees with me. Jim's in Indianapolis. Hey, Jim, what's up?
Not much. First, am I the only one who it took a few seconds to realize that Landon said talk with a T?
What?
Or am I crazy? When he said everyone wants to get together and talk, it didn't really sound that way on the radio. But anyway.
Oh, did it sound like something we should have we should have dumped?
Yeah.
Okay.
It took me a second, and I was like, oh, okay, that's why that came through.
Okay.
But,
we cleared it with the FCC, Jim. We're good. This is a family show.
Okay, yeah. But, yeah, to be honest with you, I'm kind of indifferent about the holiday times. But then when the caller mentioned the idea, the very notion of Uncle Roger Goodell, that makes me want to keep away from my own family. So, I'm glad that we have the holiday game. But I think what we're really going to find out is if the nation disagrees with you or agrees with you when the ratings come out.
Oh, it's going to be monster.
When the ratings come out, they're going to be great.
Jim, it's going to be a monster game. Thank you so much. Yeah, the ratings are going to prove me wrong here. Craig is in the chat saying, Maggie, if they keep offering you food to stuff in your mouth, that might be the hint. I think we're figuring out that I'm the weak link here at the holiday. Sorry, you were about to say something.
No. I think that's right. I'm just.
Jay in Alabama says Maggie's whole family must be silently thinking, just shut up and cut the turkey.
Did you try this macaroni yet?
Yeah. I'm like, no. Then what happened? Tell me more about what's going on in the insurance business.
Oh, man. Well, you guys, you're my nightmare Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner person, because all I want to do is get out of that dinner.
And I'm just chit-chatting away?
Well, all right, I don't think my in-laws are visiting, but they like to finish the meal and then sit around and talk for 2 hours.
You got to sit around after you finish. It's great.
The worst.
The worst.
It is the worst. Wait, do you guys like to sit around and talk?
I hate it. My in-laws do the same thing because my in-laws are like traditional Mexicans. Once dinner's over, you have to schedule 3 hours of just post-dinner talk.
Wow.
And I just sit there at a table. I'm like, is this over yet?
I mean, the only thing that could be worse is if politics gets into that talk.
Well,
then it's just like run for the hills.
You got to either hope that either everyone's on the same side, whatever that is, then you get a general agreement.
I would say that's also pretty bad, too.
It can be pretty insufferable no matter what. You got to stay away from that.
What I was saying is that guy who called about the possible mispronunciation of a word.
Yeah.
You know what guy has gotten people in a lot of trouble over the years?
Which word has gotten people in trouble over the years?
Michael Jordan's agent. David Falk has called. I remember DP was telling me he always slows down on David Falk.
No, there's something else. The
Packers GM is a bit of a landmine as well.
Yeah. Goody is where we'll leave it. Goody, we got some details, by the way, on old Goody. Goody and the Aaron Rodgers, all that, how it went down. We got some details on that.
Yeah, just we'll say it slowly and we'll get through it.
Yes. Brian Gouda. 855-212-4CBS. Thank you. 855-212-4227. We'll get you those details in just a minute. So glad to have you here on Maggie and Perloff. We get to some more football after this CBS Sports Update with Rich Ackerman.
Sports Flash.
Well, the NFL special event games were released today, a day before the schedule. The first ever NFL game on Black Friday will feature the Jets and Dolphins, and there'll be an NFC East showdown Christmas Day between the Giants and Eagles in Philly. 5 games this year in Europe, 3 in London, starting with the Jaguars and Falcons week 4, and Jacksonville will remain in England to take on the Bills the next weekend, becoming the first team to ever play 2 games internationally. Bob Huggins won't lose his job for using an anti-gay slur on a radio show, but he was suspended 3 games. His salary was cut by $1 million, and his multi-year deal will now be a year-to-year situation, and he will undergo sensitivity training. The Heat and Knicks back in New York for Game 5, with the Knicks looking to prolong this series, down 3-1. The Warriors back home to host the Lakers, looking to stay alive 3-1. And the Florida Panthers could become the first team to advance the NHL's conference final as they go for the sweep of the Maple Leafs tonight. Baseball this afternoon, the Yankees pound the A's 11-3. Detroit blanks Cleveland 5-0. Eduardo Rodriguez improves to 4-2. Bottom of the 9th, Colorado trying to finish off the Pirates up 4-3. And bottom 8, it's the Dodgers 8, Brewers 1. I'm Rich Ackerman.
Hey, it's DA. Be sure to listen to CBS Sports Radio at home. Ask Alexa to play CBS Sports Radio.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply check out the link, cbssportsradio.com/askthepros, or tweet your question at CBS Sports Radio using the hashtag AskThePros. Be listening later in the show when we might answer your question. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff hanging out with you on this glorious Wednesday. Dribs and drabs here from the NFL on the schedule for this upcoming season. We got our Black Friday game, and it leads us to this.
What the is Aaron Rodgers up to today?
Finding out that he's going to be playing on Black Friday. That's what Aaron Rodgers is up to today. It will be the Jets hosting the Miami Dolphins for the first ever Black Friday game, Perloff.
I think there's a little bit of risk here by the NFL.
Wow, how so?
Because it's a huge, huge game for them. Because obviously the future of the league is Amazon streaming services. Amazon's the biggest company. They really want this to go right. They want to sell all this merch. What if Tua is out?
Okay.
And what if, and this seems like far, what if Aaron Rodgers has a Russell Wilson-like Denver Broncos? What if it's not a great game? I mean, I would have gone with find the teams with the two highest win totals and put them against each other. I might have done Kansas City, Cincinnati here, honestly.
Well, that would have been something.
I think Rodgers is the biggest. Rodgers and Jets is probably arguably the biggest draw now. But don't just
Rodgers and Jets is the number one storyline going into the season.
Right, but their win total's 9.5. The Dolphins are 9.5.
Yeah, about the same. So maybe they'll be,
right,
something on the line.
I do feel like you could have gone with a slightly safer game, and really it's more of an indictment on Tua's health.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't want to see Skylar Thompson against.
I know.
Against Zach. Well, I don't think Zach will be the backup. Yeah, he's number 2. Who's the third guy they brought in? Oh, Tim
Boyle.
Tim Boyle. Yeah, you don't want Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle battling it out.
No. Listen, Amazon's going to be fine no matter what happens. It could be you and me out there for Black Friday, and they're going to survive. But you're right. Here's the thing. Tua did play on Christmas last year, though. It turns out that he got concussed in the first half because he had this all-time terrible second half.
Well, this is Thanksgiving, but yeah.
Yes, right. So he played late into the season, though.
Yes.
Remember, he came back.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, though. Just seeing him on the schedule seems very, very possible that he gets another concussion.
Can I float this one out there for you? Little man by the name of Tom Brady. Tom Brady, still out there.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Still not going to the Fox booth. Taking a gap year, whatever.
Oh, actually,
Tom Brady, by about Thanksgiving, he might be back.
Yeah.
So talk about someone who does not want to spend time with his family. I mean, Thomas Edward Brady, guys.
That would be a pretty good Friday game. But, yeah, by the way, he might never go to Fox is the new scuttlebutt.
I saw that.
Yeah.
He kind of came out and threw a little cold water on it. But
yeah, I'm not sure I see that happening anytime soon. But anyway, that would be good. But
that would be amazing. I wonder if Amazon
Which would have been a safer game? Jets, Dolphins, or Chiefs, Bengals? Why not put that as the Friday game? Because I just feel like Mahomes and Burrow have had a little more durability. That's all I'm saying.
Is the New Year's Eve game, though, is that an Amazon game?
So is it a Thursday?
No, it's Sunday. So I don't know if...
What New Year's Eve game? Yeah, I don't even know. No one's explained to me. I put it on Twitter. Why are they even putting a press release out about that game?
Think about why. So
tell me why, yeah.
The networks had to bid on which games they wanted. It's not getting separated this year. Like the road team is in the AFC, so you are on CBS, or the road team's in the NFC, so you're on Fox. Now all these games are up for grabs with all the networks and with Amazon. I'm assuming Amazon's
No, I think Amazon is Thursday night.
They are, but they're not in the bidding for these games? And ESPN for Monday night?
No, ESPN. What do you mean? ESPN has its Monday night schedule. Amazon has its Thursday night schedule. I know, but I wasn't sure if they put everything into a pool. Oh, yeah, maybe.
And everyone now is bidding for these games. So maybe Amazon just got outbid.
Well, even so, why would this one game be announced when none of the other games were announced? No other Sunday games were in America were announced. They did the international games, the Black Friday game, and then this New Year's Eve game, which is not a special game as far as I can tell.
No, but I think they want, for some reason, they wanted the Chiefs Bengals out there. Maybe because people
Or unless maybe they're moving that whole Sunday to Saturday. I was thinking about that scenario.
Oh, and Chiefs-Bengals will be a standalone?
It would be December 30th, right, and do that as a standalone on New Year's Eve.
That's interesting.
I don't know, but this is so stupid. Our friend Nikki Javalu, who covers the Washington Commanders,
for the Post.
Yeah, and I'm not throwing this is our show, so I'm not going to throw a cold water on it. She's like, I refuse to acknowledge schedule release day. This is a procedural event, which I thought was really funny because I do understand that logic. Like, I'm as excited as a little kid on Christmas. I am so into this, but then if I do pull back, I'm like, wait, what am I into here? What's happening? This is just something they have to actually release a schedule at some point. How are we being suckered into this?
Listen, it's fun. The other part too is you're right. It's a big bet to place on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Like, they still are the Jets. Like, anything could go wrong. If something is going to go wrong, it's likely to happen to the Jets. I don't see it. I don't think this is going to be a Russell Wilson thing.
But I see the Dolphins as a much bigger risk. They are a swing and a possible miss next year.
Listen, Skylar Thompson almost beat the Bills and Buffalo in the playoffs. Like, it's not that crazy.
Yeah, I feel like they're a very volatile team this year. I'm actually surprised. Why are the Jets and the Dolphins both are 9.5 wins? That was interesting.
It's going to be hard to get to.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought that the Jets were considered a better team with Rodgers at quarterback. Rodgers over Tua. Which would, if you were going to put them and say, hey, are they the same odds, or you give the Jets a little bit of a favor here?
No, the quarterback situation is so up in the air. I don't understand why we aren't talking about this every single day here with the Dolphins. Like, the fact that they're rolling with Tua, to me, just that's why I can't let the Tom Brady thing go. Because it just doesn't seem possible that they're just going to say, like, hey, we've invested all this. We traded for Tyreek Hill. We've invested in our defense. We feel like we have a win-now team. Our owner's super old. We just got our draft pick taken away for tampering. Like, so we're just going to roll the dice with Tua. It seems irresponsible.
Yeah, he did put on weight. 25 pounds of muscle. Let me ask you this, just real quick. It's May. Give me your 1 to 4 in the AFC East as you see it now, without even overthinking it. How would you rank those 4 teams?
If I'm just going off, like, top
ahead, without even looking, without even really looking at the schedule. Yeah.
Okay. I would probably give my Bills the edge here because they've won the division the last 3 years, and then I think it's Jets, Miami, New England.
Yeah, I see it that way too.
I mean, just because of the Miami quarterback situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are going to be some people put the Jets over the Bills, saying the Bills might be ready to take a step back.
They might. And listen, they're not getting any favors by the league. I'm sorry.
Yeah, nobody has Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was incensed this morning.
Oh, yeah, that was insane.
Incensed.
Just tell people real quick. I have to have you share this take because I think people are going to laugh at this one.
They shouldn't laugh.
This is crazy, Maggie.
Favoritism that the league is showing towards the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Bills when they announced the international games. Week 4, Falcons at Jags in London. Week 5, Jags at Bills in Tottenham.
Oh, wow.
So the Jags get to have a whole week in the UK, in England, where their body clocks can adjust, where they can get the lay of the land, they can get their routines, and then they get to play the Bills. And beyond that, it's a Bills home game that they're taking away from Buffalo, one of the last places in the NFL, along with Green Bay and some others, that actually do give you a legit home field advantage. This is garbage. Garbage by the NFL.
Oh,
it is unfair, and it ruined my day. Thankfully, I get to come here and work with you guys because I would really be in a bad way if I had to just, like, be alone.
That is the most insecure about how good your team is NFL take in the history of NFL takes. Because the Bills, first of all, anything could happen in all these crappy 11 stadiums anyway, but that is such a minor edge.
Minor edge? It's
Carlos,
a huge
I can see you laughing at what Maggie was doing. This is, she's in too deep as a Bills fan, right? I'm not alone.
It's such a stretch.
Dude, it is not. Think about it. What's the biggest thing when the schedule actually comes out? People look at rest, how many miles you have to travel. Like, everything plays in. Because
is right. People are going to get hurt in the first 2 weeks, and someone's going to come out that you've never heard of. It's going to be a completely different game by the time we even get there.
Okay, but just on the surface, on paper.
Maybe it's a minor thing.
Having to play,
it's a minor
when
thing.
You're at the disadvantage because the other team is in a completely different time zone, gets to acclimate for a week, and then you also get a home game taken away. when you are in a place like Buffalo, and this is week 5, which means it could be snowing in Buffalo by week 5.
The home game thing had already been announced, right? I don't remember it, but
it wouldn't have been a home game. And again, and it's a team from Florida, where the Buffalo always has an advantage over the Florida teams when it gets past like October 1st.
Right, but they had already worked out. There's some sort of formula, right, for who loses a home game on London. So it just was time for Buffalo to give up a home game, right? Is that unfair, or does every team in the league have to do that? So you can't argue that that's unfair. Now, this extra week of body clock adjusting, I mean, come on.
You're crazy if you don't think that actually makes a difference.
Such a big deal. I mean, a week 5 Jags-Bills game, is it week 5?
Yeah.
I mean, is it really going to make that big a difference in the course of the Bills' season?
Have we not talked about what a juggernaut the AFC is and how it's going to be so hard to come by wins and how the AFC East just got so much better? You guys are not paying enough attention to this. I'm in the right here, and y'all are in the wrong.
I just think that you really just need to relax about your very, very good football team. Same thing happened last year. You were sure that they were going to just completely implode, and then they imploded.
I'm in the darkness. Crazy quarterback news. We'll get to that in just a minute. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
If you're just joining us, Perloff is putting the finishing touches on 16 ounces of peanut butter. The man is a legend. Got the closer spoon, and Andrew Perloff, like Usain Bolt, cruising to the finish line. Last bite.
I flew way too close to the sun. Now I'm about to throw up all over the sun. Something feels wrong.
Yeah. Something looks wrong.
I don't feel well.
Ooh.
I'm glad I got through the first jar. That second jar was the biggest mistake of my entire life.
Yeah.
I was doing so good.
It took years off your life. Thank you, Ack, for correcting his grammar.
Ack, honestly, I can choose which way to throw up. I'm definitely going your direction. So stop talking.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Back on the wagon here, Maggie and Perloff across the country on CBS Sports Radio. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where you can watch the show. If you are watching, please subscribe. Please. If you do, we get closer to our goal of 1,000 new subscribers before the end of the NBA Finals. That means the Carson Wentz poster that is sitting behind Andrew Perloff gets destroyed live on our show. And that's the only thing that's really bringing me joy right now, because this whole NFL schedule, dribs and drabs release, from what I see so far, I don't like it. I don't like a marquee game like Chiefs-Bengals happening on New Year's Eve. You know, listen, it's going to happen Christmas Eve. It happens to be on a Sunday. Okay, no one wants to talk to their family. I get it. The NFL is being hailed as a hero. They keep you from having to make small talk with your aunts and uncles and all that. I don't love it, but I'm on an island. And I really don't like the fact that you guys are clowning me on the fact that my Bills have to play the Jags in London. Meanwhile, the Jags have already been in London for a week because they play the Falcons week 4, then they play the Bills week 5. It's a clear competitive advantage that goes against my team for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So congrats, NFL, for tilting the scales.
I would say the Bills' season is over. I don't even need to see more. You know, the Bills are favored in that game because the odds are out on all these games.
Odds in May in a game that's going to happen. What's week 5?
These
October?
sharps in Vegas know exactly what they're doing. There's probably you're right. Actually,
it's insane.
Yeah, but you could get great value, presumably.
If you can tell the future, you can get great value.
Well, I do think that there are really smart people in Vegas to be like, ooh, the public loves these teams way too much. Because we kind of fall for the same kind of teams every year, the big names.
So we still have a lot more with the schedule release that needs to be ironed out. We've got the international games now: Falcons, Jags, Bills, Ravens, Titans, Dolphins, Chiefs. That's in Germany. Colts, Patriots also in Germany. We do not have the opener. Now, thanks to Donna Kelsey, who put on her Facebook page that the Chiefs are playing the Eagles in week 2 at Arrowhead. I guess if we're going to take Donna Kelsey as like the new Adam Schefter, cross off the Eagles, we'll cross off the Bengals because we know that's happening New Year's Eve. So in terms of the opener, it's looking like it's either going to be Chiefs-Bills. I would also think Chiefs-Chargers because they always play entertaining games.
Now, looking back, so the Bills killed the Rams last year in the opener.
Yeah, but the Rams were not the same team.
Right. So I don't think there's a competitive disadvantage one way or the other. You get a mini bye because it's Thursday. You know, it's probably you would want to play in that game.
Yeah.
I was curious, too, if you look at the teams that got all the primetime games last year. And the system's changing this year, so teams are not required to get any primetime games at all. So, like, Arizona will probably drop out completely. Right. But last year, the 49ers, they'll still get – I'm going to go through these. They'll definitely get 5. I think they're second favorite overall in the whole league.
I know, which is crazy because their quarterback situation is bananas right now.
They won 10 in a row last year with Brock Purdy and Jimmy G.
I know, but Brock Purdy, they don't even have Brock Purdy right now.
I mean, they're in the NFC. They're going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so it's 49ers.
49ers for sure. Now, here's one. Will the Packers drop off?
You know, that's a great question because the Packers are an institution.
Yeah.
I don't know if it matters who's playing quarterback for the Packers. They still are a draw.
Well, you don't know that because we've seen Brett Favre going into Aaron Rodgers. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, I know. I don't have a memory of like the Packers.
Don Majkowski.
With the Magic Man.
I think that's a potential drop-off. I think the Broncos at 5. That is not as big.
Broncos are out.
That's not as big a drop-off as you might think. I mean, look at all the attention. Russell Wilson and Sean Payton were courtside last night.
The Nuggets,
they went sort of viral.
Yep.
There was Mr. Sean Payton is really selling something, Russell, very important, and it went viral. Everyone's like, do I capture this? I think there's a lot of interest.
Do you want another
5 is a lot, but I think the Broncos are definitely a primetime level team. Then you got.
I think the Broncos are not getting the max primetime.
Max, but they're okay. Probably because the league is mad.
No one trusts them anymore.
The league is mad at them from last year.
Yeah.
The Bengals, yes. The Bucks, definitely not. So they're out.
Bucks are going to be off.
The Bills, definitely yes. They're very popular.
Yep.
I mean, you see Josh Allen. This helps the Bills' popularity, having them in opener. Chargers, that's what I was very curious about. Do they get a lot of love?
I tend to think so. I think even though the fan base for the Chargers has been through the ringer.
Yeah.
They didn't deserve that at all. They still are in L.A. Maybe they feel like that's the big market. I think, honestly, the one knock against them is they blew that 27-0 lead in the playoffs. I mean, does that make you want to watch them more or less? I don't know.
I'd say there are a few knocks against them. Try every other playoff game they've ever had.
New England, just added.
Here's a good one. New England Patriots. Is the league going to tie? They were not a playoff team last year. They added an offensive coordinator, but they didn't add a lot of talent.
Juju Smith-Schuster. Is Belichick enough to be a draw? I mean, they gave him a game in Frankfurt against the Colts. Is that a reward?
Rams are definitely out. I think they're out. I mean, the Steelers will still get 5. The Cowboys will get 5. The Eagles will definitely get 5. And the Chiefs will get 5. So there's got to be... I'm not sure if any of these teams are out.
I think the Jets are now in.
The Jets are in, so they'll replace somebody. They'll replace the
Bucs or something. Yep.
Then who else is in?
I mean, Stu, how many? Don't the Raiders usually get some primetime games because the fan base is so?
They get
so
some,
big?
but usually not 5. Usually it's like 3 or 4. They're like right under that max.
You know who's going to get a lot? I bet the Lions are going to get some. Of course, they always get the Thanksgiving. But people like the Lions right now. And the New York Giants might be another one. Carlos, your Giants.
Giants will sneak in because they made the playoffs last year. I don't know about the Lions.
Seahawks, maybe?
I think the Dolphins, I noticed the Dolphins are not on this list. They'll be a big candidate. Seahawks, I think, borderline is, if you're putting the Seahawks in, you're putting pretty much every playoff team in.
Now we're just naming every team in the league. But did you know, what about Lamar? Lamar's a draw. What about the Ravens?
You know, it's funny. The Ravens, they had the same Lamar last year, and they did not get 5. So would you put 5 now? That's a really good question. The one for sure is Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. But I think you're right. I think the Giants will jump in there, too. The Giants are part of this and that. They got the Eagles. The Eagles.
On Christmas.
The fact that they put that on Christmas and made a big deal of it means the Giants are a big deal. So I'm very curious when the schedule release. We're going to have a spokesperson for the NFL who actually went to my high school.
Yeah,
was my friend coming on Friday.
Came to our Maggie and Perloff Super Bowl party.
Are you gonna call him out on the clear anti-Bills bias?
I mean, finally, I get to have someone from the league on the show. I can ask him every question and put him through the ringer.
Has the Bills ever been screwed in any other way? What? I remember DeMar Hamlin was very complicated.
No, that was totally different. And actually, you could argue that really the Bengals got a little more screwed by that than the Bills.
The Bills are not a traditionally get screwed team like the Saints. Everybody.
Well, are you talking about on the field or off the field?
Well, the same thing. Well, yeah, that's their fault, though, right?
They've screwed themselves many times.
I mean, the league seems to not like the New Orleans Saints. There's a lot of smoke there.
New Orleans Saints fans definitely have
serious
gripes.
beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buffalo, I don't feel like has a legitimate gripe. Everything is on you guys. But this is not enough. This is not enough. The fact that the Jags get an extra week off, I mean, come on. They should beat the Jaguars in London. Why can't they?
No, you can never predict what's going to happen in London. And those are the games. So I have like a couple gambling rules that I try to abide by during the season. I never bet on the Falcons at all.
Yeah,
I've been burned so many times. Thank you. I don't bet on them to win, lose, like nothing. Overs, unders, nothing with the Falcons. And I never bet on any of the international games. It's just like you're asking for it to me. I can never pick these games. So I've taken them off of my personal list.
I saw Atlanta is only a 4-point dog. I think it even opened at 3.5 in Jacksonville or against Jacksonville. So wait, Atlanta and Jacksonville are within 4 points of each other. Is Atlanta going to be good this year?
In London, when all
Atlanta
bets are
spent a lot of money. They got a lot of people in there. So I don't know if they're going to be good, but they're going to be better than they were last year.
Yeah, that's a really interesting team.
Well, the question is Desmond Ridder going to be good?
He might be okay. I mean, listen, they have 8 running backs. Why is he going to have to do anything?
Well, Bijan Robinson was already the favorite for Rookie of the Year, right?
I would think so, right? And then you got Tyler Algier. That's it. Anyway, I think your rule about not betting on the Falcons is a smart one because who knows what's happening there. So wait, here's another question. Tottenham Hotspur is a newer stadium, so the turf should be better. So I think you're going to have a more even match. I think the Bills are going to be fine here, Maggie. I think you have nothing to worry about.
There's something about this that just feels like you're jinxing it. I don't know.
You don't think the Jacksonville players are going to be homesick for being gone for so long?
Yeah. I mean,
no,
imagine
you guys have been talking about how you love watching football so you don't have to talk to your families on the holidays.
Like, imagine 7 days of eating fish and chips. Like, I'm sure
the
it's not
food
gonna
is
be
so awful in London. That's a great point. They're all going to be sick to their stomach. I think it's an advantage Bills.
I know. I think they're going to be like, having fun. London's a pretty cool city.
Right. Instead of working on practice, they're going to be on that gigantic Ferris wheel that's over the river. They're going to be seeing Big Ben. Going to be drinking
shopping
Guinness.
At Harrods.
The more you talk about this, I'm taking Buffalo by like 20.
Are you guys crazy?
They're going to be, first of all, they're going to be thinking soccer. They're going to be so British at that point. 2 straight weeks. They're not going to know what's happening.
No, watch.
I don't
Ted
know.
Lasso's going to come. He's going to give him some kind of pep talk. Who knows?
Wait, Ted Lasso, first of all, lives most of the year in America, and he can talk to them anytime.
Ted Lasso will be there. If the game's on NBC, Ted Lasso's going to be there. Right? Wasn't it NBC? No, it's Apple Plus.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So he's up for grabs. So, yeah,
he'll
definitely be there.
Because the Premier League was on NBC.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think Rebecca Lowe does make
the original Ted Lasso, that character started from
NBC.
A commercial. Yeah.
On NBC. No, you're right.
Yeah.
So there are a bunch of London games. Ted Lasso can't be at all of them.
Just watch them. They do another season of that, by the way?
Is your head going to explode if they do an All-Europe League and then Buffalo has to play those teams?
This All-Europe League...
It's a Florio special. Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, keeps saying it's going to happen.
Listen, Mike's plugged in. He's talking to a lot of people in the league. I just don't see how this... Okay, so you're going to have 4 teams. You're going to start a new division that plays them in Europe. It just feels like you are disrupting so much. Like if you're a Seattle Seahawks and got to fly over and back, and I know your bye week, you'll get like your bye week after it. But think about what else the NFL is doing. They're giving multiple teams can have multiple Thursday night games. They basically play football games every night of the week. How are you going to make sure that guys have enough time off to keep dudes healthy enough so that we can still see the stars playing every week? They already have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a huge disadvantage. Say that they had to spend 2 weeks in London. How are they supposed to compete if that was the case?
It's such an advantage.
It's such a disadvantage. Anyway, this is so silly. I love this. This little debate encapsulates our show because you see the schedule release come out and you're like, oh my gosh, the Bills are screwed. We're dead. It's all falling apart. I see that the Eagles are playing the Giants on Christmas, and I'm already tweeting every Giants fan I know, we're going to beat you 45-7 on Christmas.
Your team went to the Super Bowl last year and mine didn't.
Oh, come on. No, you are a glass half empty football fan. I am a glass half full football fan. So I see the schedule release as a reason to talk trash. You see it as, oh man, they're screwing us again.
How about this? If the Bills in my lifetime, knock on wood, win a Super Bowl, I will become a happy, a positive fan.
I think you deserve it. You've suffered enough.
Thank you.
How about, can we do just a massive show bet right now on that Bills-Jags game, which is really the Maggie Perloff Super Bowl?
No. I do not bet on international games. It's against my rules.
I'm telling you right now that game, I cannot wait. I hope Buffalo wins that game 47-3.
They won't.
And then I'm going to laugh
those
so
games
hard.
47-3. Those games are always crazy.
No team has ever had a week there before playing the game.
I know.
So
she's well aware of that. Yeah, she's already. I saw her
made
looking at
multiple requests to the league.
I saw her looking at different standard time clock and
I've already penned a strongly worded letter to Goodell.
But then again, if the Jags win that game, then you have a written-in excuse.
Nick in Texas says, this is the last season of Ted Lasso, so thank you, Nick. Also, in London, they don't even like their bacon crispy. Is that right? They're not eating crispy bacon over there?
I don't know. Food is not good over there, generally, historically.
Yeah, I think that's like an old thing. I mean, nowadays.
I was there. I was there in 2014 or something.
Not good?
Well, first of all, they can't do coffee right. They're tea people. So they have Starbucks there, and they're terrible. I do not remember being blown away by the cuisine. It's not France. Let's put it that way.
Who did Perloff call bougie earlier today? Me? About suggesting that someone might be skiing during New Year's Eve, and you're telling me that the food in London is nothing on France?
I can't believe they scheduled a game. I mean, people have to go off skiing. Well, I'm like,
I said they might be.
You don't think après ski they might want to tune into a football game?
Après ski. 855-212-4CBS. 855-212-4227. Ay.
Buffy, the football game is on. I must go watch.
No, they're too busy over there with Charles and all the coronations and stuff. That's like they're going to be celebrating that the whole year.
I was doing the rich ski fan. Ski person.
Buffy, I'm sorry. Buffy's in Aspen. Buffy's not in London.
Buffy's in Aspen. Yeah, I don't think Buffy's very much a London game. Yeah, by the way, and I know that I didn't get one text from you during coronation. You had
didn't watch 1 second.
Yeah.
I got proud of myself on that. Thank you, Carlos. Give me a round of applause.
I didn't really see much of it. But you weren't fascinated to see that where William and Henry were sitting? Harry, sorry.
The one thing about it, I got so burnt out of the Harry stuff.
Yeah, me too.
It was like, I can't do this with this guy anymore. I just I feel terrible what happened to his mother. We'll all feel bad about that. That was such a terrible thing with Princess Diana, but I can't keep doing this.
You know what? The one thing that could help them, if say they did have to be at a holiday together, if there was a football game they could watch together.
They're not watching the NFL.
I think Harry, why do you think he moved to America? Just to watch football.
No more soccer. He can't stand it. He's got to watch Titans-Ravens.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to get him.
Named his kid after Archie Manning.
Right. Yeah. Everyone knows that. Yeah. Did they name the kid Archie? They did, didn't they?
Yeah, it's Arch. The first Arch, I believe, in the family.
They got to be different. Yeah. I couldn't do anything with the royal family. I didn't care about the outfits. I didn't care.
What about Katy Perry?
I was shocked she got an invite.
But yeah, what's the deal? She was married to Russell Brand. Is that why? What was going on there?
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
I have no idea.
I don't know why she was there. Anyway, this is when I feel a little out of touch with society. I'm just like, I care less.
Yeah. No, that royal family, I mean, you're right, because these coronations happen all the time. You just catch the next one.
I know. It's just like a Thursday night football game.
Yeah, it's only once every 85 years that the historical thing like this happens. But no big deal, because I understand that it's Saturday morning, so you gotta watch whatever.
Yeah, cartoons with my kid. I actually heard a really funny line about this. It's like, it feels weird to congratulate Charles because all he did was basically outlive his mother. And he barely did that.
Yeah.
They said she took him to a Game 7. That's
good.
Who said that? Wait, don't tell me or something. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, coming up, one superstar athlete turns out just like us. Huh. Could have never seen this coming. Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio. We're back in a minute.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Oh man, what a day to celebrate for me. I get to see my team on Christmas, my 76ers. I have a 3-2 lead in the second round of the NBA playoffs.
Looked great last night.
They could be the fourth straight Philadelphia team to lose in the finals, which would be
Congrats to you. A pre-congrats.
I would be a little bit stoked if the Sixers lost in the finals because I can't believe this team would get to the finals. Is that a loser mentality?
Yes. Wait, you can't wait for your team to go to the NBA Finals and lose?
I just think it'd be a huge accomplishment for this Philadelphia 76ers team to get to the finals. Yeah, I think that's a little bit above any bar that most of us have for them.
Well, I'm going to be honest. At this point, it'd be disappointing if you didn't come out of the East.
Right, because I didn't know the East was going to be this down. You would have thought Milwaukee and Boston were there, but it does feel like Philadelphia is a city of sports destiny. We just keep getting the final. Like no one knew the Phillies won 87 games, got the Game 6 of the World Series. It's all total crazy. This is gravy, Maggie. I'm loving life here.
Okay. You loved losing to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? You couldn't have loved that.
No, but I loved this Philadelphia Eagles season. Loved it. It was amazing to see Jalen Hurts
because the 49ers didn't have a quarterback.
Well, I mean, it was in the link. That was...
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been hard to win that game. But just that Jalen Hurts became an MVP candidate, come on. That was great.
It's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got paid a lot of money, so that's going to be good, too.
Yeah. I know someone who I don't think is really on the same end of the sports spectrum right now.
Yeah. Well, maybe your team isn't clearly getting a hose job, like my team.
Oh, I was really thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, you basically TBD. There's other people who are falling upon hard times.
You know what, Stu? You went to the Devils Hurricanes game last night.
Yeah. It was not great as a Devils fan.
When you say not great, more specific in case people didn't watch that game.
So the game started well. They played great 10 minutes, went up 1-0, gave up a couple goals towards the end of the first period, and then
what happened?
Second period was bad, 4 goals. Just a brutal second period. Game was basically over with 30 minutes left in the game. The game was basically over.
Wait a minute, are you sure it was only 4 goals in the second period?
It might have been 5. It's either 4 or 5. I lost track. It was too many goals. And they were all at once. They were all within like a 5-minute span. It was like boom, 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 boom. Game over.
Yeah, here's what it sounded like.
A 1-0 New Jersey lead. McLeod almost had a step of the Canes with a turnover to Martinook, trying to feed it out in front. The score! To the right of Vanacek, circles the net, put it out front. Pesci with a diving score! And Vanacek with a save. Right back to Chatfield. He loads it up through traffic. Foss on the backhand rebound. He scores! Jesper Foss scoring his 4th goal of the postseason, putting Carolina up 4-1 and make it 5-1. Now the puck finds Jordan Martinook. Martinook in late, snaps the shot, he scores!
Rough. 5 goals in the second period. 4 of them came in a 5-minute span. Ouch, pal. That's a rough one.
It was not great. I did say to the end, though.
Yeah, we saw that. We had a question for you about that. Why? Why did you stay to the end?
I don't know. I feel like the tickets weren't cheap, so it might be if it was a regular season game, I would probably have left. But playoffs, pretty much the only chance I'm going to see him in the playoffs this year. So why not? Why not stay?
Man, they scored. The Carolina Hurricanes scored 7.5 minutes into the second period, then 9 minutes and 15 seconds in, 11 minutes in, and then 12 minutes in.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that? I'm assuming that was a Carolina broadcast, right?
Yes.
That was not the national.
No. Definitely wasn't the Devils, but yeah, it was
definitely not
radio.
Now that you bring it up, I should have went with the Devils play-by-play. That would have been great.
No, don't do that. That's going to be a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
You know what? I applaud Stu for sticking around. You're right. Those tickets aren't cheap. Got to take in the atmosphere and the experience. I mean, your team is getting their butt kicked, but whatever. It's like it's you got to support the team, as Putty would say. So I like that.
Oh my gosh,
Perloff would have been out after you're down 3-1.
Long gone.
Perloff wouldn't have been the only one. I would say 80% of the building emptied out by halfway through the third period.
Would you say that it was a rough night for Lindy and the gang?
Like 2 people in our audience got that.
I was going to say the reference might go over some people's heads.
Yeah. Well, Stu, I applaud you. You're a true fan. You stuck around to the end. And listen, series isn't over.
They've won 3 games in a row before this postseason, so
that's true.
You never know.
They did against the Rangers. Okay, 855-2124-CBS. Had to have a little fun there with Stu. I thought this one made one superstar athlete, this story, made them seem very much like you and I, because this is exactly something you and I would do.
What's this?
So Mookie Betts from the Dodgers, they're playing the Milwaukee Brewers, and there's this famous hotel in Milwaukee that's haunted. There's a few of these around the country.
Right.
This one is famously haunted. So instead of staying at the hotel, Betts got an Airbnb with some friends and stayed in an Airbnb.
Yeah, smart.
I thought this was not only brilliant, I'm with you on that, super relatable. Who wants to stay in a haunted hotel? That is so not my cup of tea.
So I've stayed in the Pfister.
Yeah, it's called the what?
The Pfister in Milwaukee.
And what happened to you there?
I found out much later on that it was a haunted hotel.
Oh, you didn't know it going in?
I wouldn't have stayed there. I would have stayed, I'm sorry, I'm going to the Courtyard by Marriott. Yeah. I had no idea. It's a lovely, lovely hotel. And all the baseball players are there, too. The whole Braves team was in the lobby. We were there in the summer. It's an awesome hotel. But now that I know it's haunted, I will never go back.
Apparently, Bryce Harper said when he stayed there, he thought that his clothes were moved from one side of the room to the other. Now,
could that have been the maid?
It could have been the maid. So Bryce Harper might be full of crap, but it freaked him out.
Yeah. By the way, it is a nice hotel. It's really
It's always
nice.
The nice ones that are haunted. I mean, sometimes I guess you can have like some crappier ones that are haunted, but it's the nice ones who have been around for a long time. A lot has happened, a lot of history in order for it to get haunted.
Like The Shining. I think that you don't really haunt a national chain either. You never hear about, it's a haunted Sheraton.
Yeah, the haunted Hampton Inn doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah.
Although, there's got to be like a haunted Motel 6 somewhere in America.
Actually, some of the, as you go lower down the chain, some of them have a lot of stuff going on anyway.
Just, stains and stuff. Maybe not haunted.
Yeah. You have bigger problems. Like Ghosts is way down on the list. Right. Bed bugs is way higher on the list. I don't talking about being a snob. I get a little scared. You ever stayed at a hotel where you walk in and you're like, this is not good. This is not
Everyone
sanitary.
has that. Everyone has that.
But like,
it's generally though. I mean, listen, it happens sometimes. It happens in allegedly nice hotels. You know, you can go in and something's off.
Absolutely, absolutely. But that feeling of when you walk in the hotel room, you're like, oh boy, someone's definitely been murdered here, and it definitely was not that long ago.
My first thought is not like, oh man, someone's been murdered here. It's usually like, oh man, someone was working in here.
Oh, that guy, yeah. That's bad too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you see yellow tape on the floor, definitely ask for another room.
Chalk outline.
Yeah, and then, I mean, they say non-smoking. But you know how many times you walk in the room like, oh God, the last person here was smoking.
That's the one thing I would not be able to tolerate.
Yeah, I think you're not alone. So that's even worse than a ghost?
No, the ghost to me is still worse. I wouldn't stay. The fact that he got an exemption, though, from the team, because I imagine guys would probably want to stay elsewhere a lot of times on the road.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of professional athletes still have an Airbnb situation, but I will not get into that one.
And a side Airbnb?
Yeah, I've heard some stories. I'm not saying Mookie Betts, but yeah, you know who's going to be staying in an old hotel? The Jacksonville Jaguars, when they have 2 weeks to adjust to life in London before they play your Buffalo Bills.
I can only hope that the hotel's haunted. Maybe you would even the scales a little bit, because right now the Jags being in London for a whole week is a clear advantage over the Buffalo, who's got to change time zones from Eastern to mean Greenwich time.
What's the big hotel, the Savoy in London, or one of those fancy ones? Those are very social hotels. It'd be like, I think this could be bad for the Jags. You think it's going to be good? They're going to be partying for 2 weeks.
It's not South Beach. I mean, I know London's a great city, but it's not Vegas.
I just think that they're going to be tourists. You know how exhausting it is to travel. They're going to have to be doing group activities every day.
Well, you know what's going to happen? Families are going to go over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You think you're escaping your family? No. They're all coming over.
Are we sort of changing your mind, and maybe now you think this is an advantage for the Buffalo Bills?
No, absolutely not. You're not changing my mind at all. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. You have time quickly for this story? You just made me think about it with the haunted hotel. Ackerman says no.
I'm okay with the story. I wanted the story.
You know what story it is?
No.
Okay.
But I like a story, so
here's one for you.
Make it a good one.
All right.
Is this going to be good for Ack?
Pressure's on now. Because you mentioned about haunted hotels and then walking into hotel rooms where it looks like bad things might have been going down, you saw the story about the woman who... Yeah.
This is a bit of a stretch, but I like this story. Yeah, Ack will like this one, too.
So there's a woman who wrote us a book about grief after her husband passed away. She wrote a book about grief, and I think it became a pretty successful book. I don't know if it was a New York Times bestseller, but it became a very successful book. Well, it turns out she may have actually killed him. Turns out that she's being accused now of murdering her husband by slipping him drugs into a vodka cocktail that he had. So she wrote the book on grief, but it turns out she didn't really have to be grieving. She may have been the culprit. This is, again, you realize, like, Netflix, all the streaming services, not to get morbid about this, they're all going to make documentaries about this.
Oh, my gosh. It's in real time. I'll probably click on it tomorrow night. It'll be there.
Just like the thing that happened in South Carolina with that whole trial. And I'm watching the Netflix documentary as I'm getting updates from the news about the trial. This is going to happen. Bookmark it. It's happening.
There's some great details in here. She said that she made him a Moscow mule in the kitchen, brought to their bedroom, where he drank it sitting in bed, and then he died at the end of his bed. What is a Moscow mule?
Oh, they're delicious. It's vodka with ginger beer and mint.
Oh, my God. What a foofy drink. But anyway.
It's really good.
Yeah, so, and then she put fentanyl in it, and he died, according to allegations. This is crazy. So that's a kind of a good alibi to write a book about mourning, because nobody would suspect you if you did that.
I know, you like play the role as the grieving wife, and like so much so that you're sharing your grief with everyone else, and then it turns out that you could be, allegedly could be, the culprit. I mean, this is wild.
Wow, and there's some more. So how'd they find out now?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Oh,
Gumshoe Reporter, probably. I mean, if this Netflix documentary is going to be what we think it is.
It was the toxicology report. Apparently, she claimed that she gave him CPR. Oh, can I say something gross? But it was physically, they said that's impossible to happen because he was bleeding so much.
Ooh.
Yeah, this was not good. Yeah, this is the worst marriage ever.
You know what's going to happen.
I'm sorry, I'm not to laugh at this, but
a New York Times confessional.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
That's why this is like,
Maybe that's
wait,
what
what?
tipped him off.
Yeah.
Huh.
Actually, her original manuscript was about how I killed my husband, and that did even better. But like, wait, let's
tweak it a little.
Let's tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, she read the script for How to Get Away with Murder, and she's like, how to not get away with murder.
Yeah.
Well, weird story. 855-212-4CBS. Aki, glad you stuck around for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it already, but I still found it interesting. Yes.
We got one. We got Ackerman. See you guys on the phones. We'll get to you. We promise. Okay, we got a lot more to do, including, could the Warriors dynasty be coming to an end tonight? It's possible. They're facing elimination against the Lakers. Get to that in just a minute. Here's Rich.
Sports Flash.
Well, the NFL schedule will be released tomorrow night, but we have learned some of the matchups today. In particular, the international games for next year. And the Jaguars will play twice in London, one of 9 teams playing across the Atlantic, and the first to play in London twice in a season. There'll also be a Black Friday game for the first time ever between the Dolphins and Jets in New York, and the Giants face the Eagles on Christmas Day. West Virginia is not firing head coach Bob Huggins after he used an anti-gay slur in a radio interview, but he will be suspended 3 games and have his salary cut by $1 million. His contract now is also year to year as opposed to a multi-year deal. The Knicks try to stave off elimination tonight when they host the Heat, down 3-1, while the defending champs are in the same spot. The Warriors host the Lakers after dropping a pair in L.A. The Florida Panthers look to conclude a 4-game sweep of the Maple Leafs tonight in South Florida. Baseball today, the Yankees crushed the A's 11-3. Detroit blanked Cleveland 5-0. Eduardo Rodriguez now with only 1 earned run in his last 5 starts. Texas leads Seattle 3-1, top 4. Bottom 2, it's the Angels 2, Houston 1. No score, Toronto, Philadelphia, bottom 2. And it was Colorado over Pittsburgh 4-3. The Dodgers crushed Milwaukee 8-1. I'm Rich Ackerman.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie Perloff and you hanging out on this Wednesday. Got a lot of football news, actually. We're going to get to some of it in just a moment, but we got to hit the phones, 855-212-4CBS, because Tim's calling from Texas, and this is very urgent. Tim, what do you have, pal?
I got to tell you, we got to get rid of that Carson Wentz poster. Everybody's got to get on there and sign up. It's got to go. Worst quarterback we ever had.
Tim. Wait, and when you say we, which team specifically are you referring to? Because Wentz has tanked a few different teams.
Oh, no, the Eagles.
Got it. Okay.
The first game was at Franklin Field in the 1950s.
Oh, wow. Okay. And now you're calling from Texas. Tim, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this. You are spreading the gospel for us, and we are forever grateful because this it's one thing when I say it. It's another thing when Tim in Texas calls in and says it, Perloff. That Wentz poster has got to go, and if you want to help us towards this cause, you can do it, and it's so easy. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio and hit subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. If we get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the NBA Finals, we're going to destroy the poster, and we're going to do it live on the show.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, Maggie, I am not going to do any charity here. If we don't hit 1,000, then that Carson Wentz poster is staying.
I'm worried you're going to buy another one. I'm worried you're going to double down. I'm worried you're going to bring in a jersey or something.
Ironically, I don't even like Carson Wentz. Never liked him. I was thrilled when they went to Jalen Hurts, but I had to. The story behind this is I had to get it out of my apartment because I didn't want to look at it anymore. But it's just so cool here. It's such an oddity.
No, it's not cool at all. It's not cool. It's it kills the vibe of the studio.
It fits in.
And
really,
everyone else
looks good.
And everyone else who uses the studio despises it. Thank you, Tim, by the way, for the call and the encouragement.
If you look at, you can't really see it from your angle, but Carson is giving you a pretty obnoxious little grin here too.
Oh, that grin is seared into my memory. I don't have to look at it every day.
Stares at me for 3 hours every day.
It's haunting Stu.
Yes,
like Mookie Betts got in that haunted hotel.
Yeah.
He's lording over the show. He just doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve that kind of real estate. Look what I have over here. A signed Jim Kelly football from our pal Sully. That's cool. Jim Kelly's in the Hall of Fame.
And a Fred Jackson poster.
Well, that's a personal thing.
No, that's very cool. I like obscure things. I like unusual posters. Anybody can have, Patrick Mahomes poster on the wall. I think it's cool that we have Carson Wentz. By the way, and also Carson Wentz, now I feel like he's getting a bad rap.
Well, listen, this is just more about we want to be associated with winners,
I hear you.
And Wentz doesn't exactly fit the bill.
Not from us. I think in general, Carson Wentz gets a bad rap when people don't know Carson Wentz.
Well, why does he have a team right now?
He was bad last year, but I have no notion of what Carson Wentz is like off the field, and everybody has these vaguely negative reports. Could you picture hanging out with him? He's the one guy in the league. I have no idea what it would be like. I don't know what he's into. No clue at all.
Listen, and I know Jim Irsay is a bit of a wild card as an owner. Maybe his word shouldn't be gospel, but Wentz didn't even have that bad of a season in Indianapolis. They were on track to be a playoff team, and they basically banished him from the building.
27 touchdowns and 7 picks.
I know.
That's like MVP category.
They had just beaten the Jags in Week 17. He probably would have still been on the team. But something about him rubbed Jim Irsay so wrong. He just had to get him out of the building.
It's funny.
It's not great.
The one play, and I feel bad saying this. I hope Carson's not listening. He actually broke both ankles on one cut. He
sprained both of them.
Yeah. How do you sprain both ankles?
I don't know.
It's almost physically impossible.
We can't have that kind of juju in the studio.
Well, then let's get to 1,000 then. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do anything less. If it's 982 subscribers, forget about it.
Stu, do you mind rustling us up an update of how many subscribers? Now, this started on Thursday, right?
Yes, we have since gained 264, so more than a quarter of the way there.
I mean, I'm encouraged. I appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who hit subscribe, but we obviously have a long way to go here. We have got to get more subscribers. Is there anything we can do in the meantime to try to get more people to tune in besides our glowing personality? We're going to dress up like Elton John and Kiki.
Yeah, except
I think if we dressed up, more people would subscribe.
After that conversation, I'm like, who's Kiki? You're like, I don't know.
I don't know.
What is that? Which song was it? Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you volunteered. You're like, well, Perloff will dress up as Elton John in the early 70s.
Yeah, you got that kind of stuff laying around your closet, right?
Why don't you dress up like Elton John? Why? Yeah, you get to be Kiki, whoever that is.
I don't know who it is, but I mean, I'm assuming I'm some kind of a
It was funny because
top. I don't know.
It's funny because you said it like you knew who Kiki was. I'm like, am I supposed to? I felt really dumb. I'm like, who's Kiki? I mean, these guys are so young, they don't even really know who Elton John is.
Yeah. Do you guys know Elton John?
I know Elton John. I don't know who Kiki is.
I saw Kingsman Part 2. Of course I know Elton John.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that movie. Is that a Marvel movie?
No.
Oh,
okay. I'm sorry.
So by the way, I did not love Kingsman Part 2.
I didn't like it really that much either.
Kingsman Part 1 is awesome.
Part 1 was great.
Yeah.
Wait, and how's Elton John? He's the soundtrack?
No, he's like he's like damn near a main character.
Oh wow, okay.
So the star of Kingsman is Taron Egerton, who plays Elton John in the Elton John movie, which is pretty good, not great.
I think the last few, there's been a couple music biopics.
Yeah, which do you generally like a music biopic, or are you not into it?
I'm okay. It depends. Like the Elvis one, I thought the guy who played Elvis was so good. So that one was fine. Tom Hanks was a little much with his character.
But I guess maybe that character, Colonel Parker, was kind of weird, so I don't really know what to compare it to.
But he played Elvis, and he was excellent. I did not like the Freddie Mercury biopic.
I didn't love it either.
Oh, really? Because I felt like I was on an island with that one.
No, it got good reviews. I didn't love it. Ray was pretty good with Jamie Foxx.
That was excellent. But then the Elton John one, I did not see Rocket Man.
Elton John, I would give it a B.
Okay.
It's good songs. You can't go wrong. I mean, Kiki does not make an appearance.
Clearly not.
But then now it seems like pretty much every rock star is going to get a buyout. Oh, the good one, The Doors, because
that's going back to the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, Val Kilmer killed. That's sort of, to me, that's the closest anyone's ever gotten to actually being that rock star.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even think I actually know what Jim Morrison looks like. When I think of Jim Morrison, I just think of Val Kilmer.
Me too. But it's pretty much the same anyway.
I know. I think that's how good he was.
Yeah. Austin Butler played Elvis was really, really good.
He was excellent.
But he didn't get the look down like Val Kilmer.
Dan Kissfan77. Kiki D. She was very cute and sassy in the mid-70s.
There you go.
That could be me. I could be sassy. We'll see.
Can you?
I don't know. It's generally not something I've associated with my personality.
Wow, that Maggie Gray, she sure is sassy.
We found out today something interesting, that the Minnesota Vikings looks like they were very impressed with Bryce Young. And if somehow Bryce Young had fallen out of the number one spot, they would have been interested in trading up to try to get Bryce Young.
Yep.
Now, none of us really think that Kirk Cousins is going to be in Minnesota beyond this year, final year of his deal.
Unless they really kill it this year.
Yeah, and they get an extension or whatever.
Sure.
But I guess what this shows is you're already looking at quarterback of the future, which you should have been doing. You could argue they should have gotten someone this year that they're really going to start grooming. However, if you had gotten a top pick like Bryce Young, you're not sitting him for a year most likely. So does that mean Kirk Cousins actually would have been on the trade block, and we all know where he would have landed? San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they've been trying to make this happen for years. It's like unrequited love. There should be a movie about this. Like Kyle Shanahan's love for Kirk Cousins and how they're always apart.
Yeah, but I don't know if San Francisco would have paid for Kirk Cousins this year.
Well, they didn't have a lot of draft picks.
Yeah, and
because
even so,
they still had the Trey Lance picks that they gave away.
What is Cousins making this year? I know
a lot.
I know that the salary cap's not real, but the Niners are tapped out with no quarterback.
Well, remember there was the rumor they were interested in Aaron Rodgers, who's making $100 million for 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. So they took Jordan Addison with the 23rd overall pick. Kind of went the opposite direction. Should they have taken Will Levis there?
I mean, listen, if you're going to be sort of all in with Cousins, surround him with weapons.
But
Justin Jefferson on one side and Jordan Addison on the other.
And they got in the 5th round, they got Jaron Hall out of BYU, some people like. So
yeah, but a 5th round quarterback, that's a flyer.
It's a flyer, right. But then again, a 2nd round quarterback's kind of a flyer too. Most 2nd round quarterbacks, I mean, Jalen Hurts made it, Kaepernick made it, Dalton made it. But generally, a lot of 2nd round guys are backups.
And Jimmy.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they should have done, because I don't think Levis at 23rd would have been the pick.
Stu, I'm sorry, you had the cap hit for Cousins?
Yeah, it's $35 million according to Spotrac, so he's making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Not as bad as it could be, but yeah, 35 for Cousins.
Well, I keep saying trade Trey Lance home to Minnesota. Make it happen.
But this could have probably been the last time, again, unless Cousins has a really big season, did you miss a moment to trade him? Because you could have gotten maybe, a pick of value for Kirk Cousins. Are you getting a 3rd round pick for Kirk Cousins?
We've learned. I mean, teams are not trading for Lamar Jackson. They're going to trade to pay Kirk Cousins.
No, but Lamar was different. It was 2 first-round picks.
Well, it was the money.
And the money, yeah.
Right, but I think it's the same thing. It's the money. Kirk Cousins is really highly paid. So
I know, but Kirk's not making. Lamar got $185 million guaranteed. Kirk's not getting that at this part.
The non-exclusive tag was $32 million, and that didn't get one single nibble.
Well, also because the 2 first-round picks. Like there was those franchise tags that was steep. steep price.
I think it was I think 2 first-round picks for Lamar.
Doesn't sound crazy, but
that
it was
doesn't sound crazy at all.
Money. Right.
Yeah, no, I think we learn more and more. Like, teams do not want to pay money. They don't want to pay these expensive contracts. And even Rodgers. I mean, how many real options were there for Aaron Rodgers?
Well, according to the story that's on ESPN.com today, it was just the Jets.
Yeah.
If you want to believe the reporting, and these are great reporters who are doing this, it was just the Jets.
But that was also coming from Aaron's side. He wanted to be a Jet.
That's true. The latest, of course, on the NFL schedule release, we also have, could the Warriors end an era tonight? Warriors-Lakers elimination game. We're back in a minute on Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
We're going to have a light breakfast.
Yeah.
We're going to have to really kill it at lunch. And then dinner is just going to be
free for all.
But you have to wait till after the draft for dinner because you can't really enjoy barbecue while the draft is going on.
No.
So it's sort of a catch-22.
I can't be like all sauce all over my face and my hands trying to use an elbow to scroll up to see the latest pick or trade.
Last year, though, it would have worked at the number 4 pick, though. Sauce Gardner.
You've been waiting for that one, haven't you?
No, that dad joke just came out of nowhere. It was
sure?
you handed it to me.
No. This is like when Ian Eagle sat on Jawbreaker for the whole year and then finally unleashed it. Wait. That's what he told us. And you've been sitting on this one for like at least 2 weeks.
You were just talking about how you can't get sauce on your hands so you scroll down during the draft. I mean, come on. That was put in my lap. I had no choice but to spike it home.
They are Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
Resident dad joke extraordinaire, Andrew Perloff, sitting to my left. I'm Maggie Gray.
Guilty as charged.
So glad to have you on Maggie and Perloff across the country on CBS Sports Radio. If you want to watch the show, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Pair of elimination games tonight. Heat Knicks, which I think very few people care about right now. And Lakers Warriors, which a lot of people care about. The sports books updated. The Lakers are now the odds-on favorite to win the title. So that means they obviously expect them to make easy work here of the Warriors. Now, you and I see this a little bit differently. I do not see a path here for the Warriors to get back. I don't know. Even if they win tonight, I could see that more as a mail-in by the Lakers and a load management situation as opposed to like, wow, the Warriors really found another gear here.
Yeah, sadly, it does feel predictable that the Warriors could win this game. It wouldn't mean anything.
They're an 8-point favorite.
Yeah, you know what? I'm leaning more towards you because I think back to what the Lakers did in that closeout game against the Grizzlies. They're just a better team than the Warriors. I mean, Steph is amazing, but the rest of the Warriors are so bad right now, and I can't see them putting it together for 3 games. So I think I'm coming to your side of this one.
We talked to Kenny Smith yesterday, and he was adamant, Kenny the Jet Smith, of course, from TNT and the 2-time NBA champ. He was adamant that they've got to try to get to Jordan Poole tonight. Like, he's got to play some significant minutes because he's the only guy on the Warriors bench right now who is even capable of heating up.
But he's not, though.
And hasn't been good, right? He played 10 minutes in the last game, and he was scoreless. So I don't know where the Warriors turn. And then beyond that, this seems like a very unique situation here with the Warriors because we haven't seen, like, Warriors with bad vibes, I guess, since Draymond punched Jordan Poole earlier this year. But before that, it was really like the end of Durant, I guess.
Right, which isn't that long ago. But yeah,
it's not that long ago.
That was bad vibe. That was real bad vibes.
But they overcame those bad vibes and like won another title last year.
They did.
These types of bad vibes give me that end of an era feel. That's why I keep saying I think this is the end of the core in the dynasty because I don't know if you can bring everybody back together here. Like the Jordan Poole contract is so big.
Right.
I don't know if it's tradable. They gave him $125 million guaranteed or whatever. And you got Draymond with, with a player option.
Well, I'm curious, when you say bring everybody back, who is everybody? It's really the big 3. So that's really Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Do you extend the core to include Wiggins? Or?
I kind of extend the core now to mean Wiggins and Poole because those were the top 5 guys who won the title for them last year.
Right.
And more Wiggins than Poole.
It's kind of hard to think about. Right. Wiggins is the new Harrison Barnes, so he doesn't feel core. It feels like he could be replaced. Poole can definitely be replaced.
I know, but how do you get rid of that contract?
Well, I mean, listen, there is no doubt, no matter what happens this offseason, it's embarrassing that they went into this series with so little height. I mean, it's unthinkable. They have just no option. Anthony Davis is not that good, by the way. He's good, but at least have somebody.
He's the top 75 player of all time, according to the NBA.
Is he's top 75?
They put him on the All 75 team or whatever, the 75th
higher
anniversary
or lower
team.
than James Harden?
I don't know, and that's the other thing. We'll get to Harden a little bit later.
But I mean, listen, the Warriors need to get big, and I don't think it feels like they threw together this team and made a series of mistakes. Obviously, we know they screwed up a lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
They screwed up James Wiseman. They screwed up Jonathan Kuminga, probably, although that's not as sure. But they just, they traded Gary Payton away and then signed out to DiVincenzo. Then they had to bring Gary Payton back. It doesn't seem like they have a game plan here. So I'm not sure if it's bad vibes as much as the team is really kind of not. They're showing you what they are. They're just not that good a team right now.
I think it's both. I think it's bad vibes, and I think it's that they've run out of options.
Yes.
And it's funny because you look at the Lakers, and the Lakers, you're not probably getting that Lonnie Walker game again where he has a fourth quarter where he scores 15 points, but you might get an Austin Reeves game, or you get a Rui Hachimura game, or you get somebody beyond Davis and LeBron who contribute. And it just feels like they have those guys right now. Now, again, they could get smoked tonight. I'm not putting that out of the realm of possibility where LeBron and AD just don't play the entire fourth quarter or something. Kind of these blowouts have just been awful for the NBA.
I honestly thought when the Warriors went up 10 in the third quarter of Game 4, I thought we were getting really close to the Lakers saying, well, we got to rest LeBron. I thought that game might have turned away. So LeBron's playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, but 2-2... is a little bit different here. You
2-2.
really wanted to go up 3-1 because that's it's 82% of the time you're going to win.
But if the Warriors had gone up, say they were up by actually 11 in the third quarter. If they had pushed out to 18 by the end of the quarter, I mean, there's no way LeBron was suiting up for the fourth quarter. So I think the Warriors really screwed that up, the opportunity up. Now, here's the thing. If the Nuggets beat the Suns in Game 6,
yes,
I think the Lakers really got to start watching LeBron's minutes. So that's why they might want to go all out to wrap this up. If they go to 6 games and LeBron has to play 43 minutes a game, they're going to limp into this next series.
No, I agree with you. I'm always about going for the kill shot, always, because look at the reward that you would get on the other side. You're basically going to rest for a week. I mean, I know the Suns basically no-showed last night against Denver, but would you be shocked if the Suns somehow got it together and won Game 6 in Phoenix? Absolutely not.
Yeah, and Chris Paul could come back.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. That could definitely happen. But that, to me, that's the key problem for the Lakers is LeBron and AD minutes. So, and I do like the Warriors tonight. I know it's an 8-point spread. I'm with you. I'm not counting out the Lakers. They might smell blood here.
I mean, if I'm LeBron, I'm telling them, let's do this now. And then we're rested for Nuggets or Suns, whoever.
Right, but look who you're telling. You're telling D'Angelo Russell. Honestly,
go for the throat.
Go for the throat. In other words, stop shooting because you can't hit anything.
I know. He had a good game 2 games ago. He's another guy who came through with a big game in Game 2, right?
One more quick basketball thing from Kenny the Jet Smith yesterday.
Yeah.
He had a line on our show yesterday that he reiterated on Inside the NBA. When James Harden has 2 feet in the paint, the Sixers just work. They're really, really good. Kenny Smith said it. And then James Harden, just everything was so smooth last night with him. And it made me wonder, why does he have so many bad playoff games in history if he can do this? What is going on with him?
Well, maybe it's a time where he doesn't have to be the number one option.
But I think he's had a problem adjusting to that. You saw Game 1, and Embiid's out. He's his number one option, totally comfortable, scores 45 points. He doesn't know how to be a number 2 option yet, but he's figuring it out.
I also think there's something about guys who are that good. He is a former MVP. He is a very good player. We clown him all the time about the postseason stuff, but it's I saw this when he first came to Brooklyn. All of a sudden, he became this incredible facilitator. I was like, wow, James Harden really added, this new part to his game. And now, it shouldn't be that much of a shock that James Harden has a mid-range game. It's just we never saw a mid-range game ever because he's always been just step back threes, step back threes, step back threes.
We know he can take it to the hole. He's always good at taking it to the hole, and he's always good at threes. So we'll see. I don't necessarily count on him having that game again. He is still hit and miss. But now that the Sixers have Tyrese Maxey, I don't think they need Harden.
It's nice. Pete Tollner is in our chat, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. Perloff will take Poole for a Harden trade.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Everyone's trying to trade Jordan Poole to everybody now.
Yeah. I don't know how many people want Jordan Poole, but...
I don't want Jordan Poole, but I definitely wouldn't mind getting something for James Harden.
Well, you're going to get something because Houston's going to trade for him, right?
Yeah.
It'll be sign and trade, won't it?
No, I think he can get out of his deal. Isn't that...
Oh, it's just going to be straight up? He's not going to do a sign and trade?
I don't think it's a sign and trade. Anyway.
RPC says Draymond's going to stomp somebody tonight. I wish there were odds on that.
Can I apologize to you? You might have been onto something. We had a huge show debate about who is mentally tougher, Anthony Davis or Draymond Green. Now, listen, Draymond Green is a much smarter basketball player. I think Draymond Green's made a massive career out of being an incredibly smart basketball player.
Yeah, I think to be that good of a defender, not only do you have to care, obviously, and put in the effort, but I do think you have to be smart.
Oh, and the way he plays offense, he's kind of a genius. But he cannot control his emotions, which is good and bad. Anthony Davis, though, is just flatlining.
I know.
So I still think that I was on the right side of that debate because it just says weird to say Anthony Davis has a mental edge on Draymond Green because Anthony Davis has more talent in his left pinky toe than Draymond Green has in his whole body.
Well, that might be true. A quick word on the Boston Celtics. Speaking of bad vibes, how about them getting booed last night in their own arena? Can we hear from Jason Tatum about those boos?
We've got booed before. So it's not anything new. We're just able, we've been in that position before, and we didn't play well today. Fans could see it, you guys saw it, and we know that.
I think what's a little bit different, even if you've been booed before, your coach was getting booed. I think that's what it was. I thought Joe Mazzulla, who has become a very unpopular person, his rookie campaign as a head coach has not gone well in these playoffs, and I think the crowd was booing the head coach.
Maybe, but they're a really good road team too. So they're actually haven't they been better on the road than they've been at home this postseason? So I don't think that means anything for Game 6.
You really think the Celtics are getting back in this?
I definitely do. Just based on history, they've really struggled at home this year. I think they're close to 500 at home, and they've been really, really dangerous on the road, which is weird. Maybe because they're booing their head coach.
Maybe they feel too much pressure at home.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, let's go to the phones. Oh, did he drop? Oh, man.
Yeah, what was that? Somebody I won a bet?
What was his name? Chad in Green Bay?
Chad in Green Bay.
All right, Chad, call back.
It was Bucks related. I believe it was Bucks getting farther than the Sixers, or maybe Bucks winning the East.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Wow, I got super lucky on that one.
Yeah, you should really thank Jimmy Butler for that one, and I guess Giannis getting hurt.
Well, I mean, the Bucks were a shadow of themselves, regardless of Jimmy Butler. By the way, everyone talking about the Sixers. Sixers advancing here past the hated Boston Celtics is good. Losing to Jimmy Butler is setting up a nightmare scenario. You have to admit, that would be bad. That would be as bad as it gets. For your former player who basically
lives rent-free in your head.
Lives rent-free in your head, and they chose not to re-sign him and did exactly what they've needed for several years. And Jimmy Butler is one of those players who you just don't want to lose to. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, he just feels like he's going to rub it in.
I feel like Steph Curry's like that.
Yeah.
Steph will invent something new, like night-night, that all of a sudden every kid in America is going to be doing in their backyard. It's like Steph not only beats you, he like buries you. And
right, but Steph is doing with, I think, incredible talent and three-pointers. Jimmy Butler is just alphaing you.
Yeah.
He's just
takes your lunch.
He's just, I'm tougher than you.
Yep.
I'm not better at basketball, but I'm tougher than you. And that is the big Achilles heel for the 76ers is mental toughness.
Yes, we've noticed.
I'm really worried I'm projecting ahead. If the Sixers did advance, there'd be Jimmy Butler waiting there. Because the Sixers have a way of torturing me, much like your Buffalo Bills.
Yeah,
that'd be a bad way to go down.
We're kindred spirits in that way. I mean, listen, I get why you're not fully on board. You know, Doc Rivers kind of has a history, even though he hasn't won a title, he does have a history of blowing leads, or his team blowing leads in the postseason. Whether he deserves all the blame for that or not, it's on his resume.
Yeah, and the Celtics came back from 3-2 twice last year.
And the idea that, listen, Giannis, though, looks so good. He looks so good right now.
But Giannis?
Sorry, I meant Embiid. Embiid looks so good right now. And I wouldn't mind getting an Embiid-Jokic final.
Right.
These are the two best, beyond Jimmy Butler, who's playing awesome. the Embiid and Jokic are the two guys who are, I mean, I know Booker has been playing well too, but these are the two best guys in the NBA.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, because Embiid can't do it alone. He's got to have somebody else step up with a huge game.
It's a team game. No one does it alone.
Okay. Would that be, say you did not get, obviously the Lakers, say you took the Lakers out, take LeBron out.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to want the Lakers because they've got a big fan base. It's LeBron. I get it's the Lakers. But if we end up getting Embiid versus Jokic, I think I'm fascinated by that.
But it's not like Wilt and Bill Russell where they'd be going head to head. They're both going to be, they both play at the 3-point line.
Yeah, I know.
It wouldn't be a classic big man matchup. You'd rather have that than the Suns with Kevin Durant in the finals? That's an immediate must watch.
KD didn't look that great last night, by the way.
He looked terrible. You're right. But KD, Booker, I think that would be exciting. I think the Nuggets are the least exciting team. I think they were the best team, probably by a pretty large margin. But I mean, come on, you don't think the ratings are going to go down if it's Nuggets Sixers? It'll be bad. I think the Suns, the Lakers, and the Warriors will draw eyeballs.
855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. I misspoke before. I said Giannis when I meant to say Embiid is because I was looking at a photo of Giannis. I keep doing this. Okay, where he tweeted yesterday. I don't know if you saw this. It's a picture of him, and he's like in the arena, and it's like kind of dark and shadowy. And Giannis tweeted, "I'm tired of the disrespect. I'm coming." Who's disrespecting Giannis? 2 MVPs. Who disrespected him?
I believe it was because he didn't get on the all-defensive team, which was announced yesterday.
That's what he's talking about?
That's what the speculation was on Twitter yesterday.
Huh.
He's a pretty good defender, too.
Yeah.
He's really good, actually.
Did, the league just tick off Giannis? Are we going to get a Giannis revenge tour? I thought Giannis doesn't believe in failure. It's just steps to success.
Giannis needs somebody to stay healthy around him. That'd be nice.
Or him to stay healthy.
Yeah, and he was hurt this year, too. But that's another team who showed us what they were this year. I didn't think the Bucks, did they look like a title team when you step back? I bought the storyline, but I don't know who's good anymore. Is there a favorite? Giannis was the Vegas favorite coming into this, but I just don't see who's going to win this NBA title.
Kenny Atkinson, by the way, interviewing with the Bucks, and J.J. Redick had an interview with the Toronto Raptors.
Is that Jeff Saturday like to pull him out of the booth?
Only if it's mid-season.
In the NBA, they don't kill people for that because Jason Kidd went pretty much right in the coach. Steve Kerr. Well, he was a GM, right?
No, he was doing TNT. He also was a GM, but he was doing TNT broadcasts with Marv Albert.
Yeah. I think in basketball it makes more sense. Football and stuff. J.J. Redick, I know there's some people around here who don't love J.J. Redick.
Yeah, one person in particular, our boss, Mike Eskin. Host of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast.
Regardless of what you feel about J.J. Redick, he's got that Duke thing. He's the most hated college basketball player of all time. I think it's going to be, it's kind of hard to... Well,
2 Duke guys.
But Leitner, nobody knew. Like, Leitner set the foundation for them to write all the posters about J.J. Redick and Grayson Allen, too. But... I don't know. I just feel like he's a little too polarizing. I'm not sure I'd bring him in, right? Like, you'd have a lot of...
J.J. Redick's too polarizing?
Yeah. I don't know.
Why?
I feel like
he's going back and forth with Mad Dog Russo? Like, no one's going to care about that.
I mean, he was really hated for a long time.
You're right in that fact.
He is the single most hated college basketball player I've ever seen.
He was very much hated. It's funny because generally, I'm trying to think of other players who were hated who ended up becoming coaches.
That's true.
Like Bill Laimbeer ended up becoming a coach in the WNBA. He was hated in the league.
J.J. Redick is a neighbor of mine. I see him all the time. I never say hi to him.
Should you ask him about the Raptors?
That'd be weird.
Moving to Canada? What's up?
He was pretty good as a Sixer. Who's a hater? Like if Draymond became a coach, that would be interesting.
It'd be kind of odd, right?
That being said,
Do people not like Isaiah? Some people loved Isaiah.
Yeah, but he wasn't as wild as Draymond.
No.
I think Draymond could be a coach. You're right. He would have to contain that emotion.
Okay, you're going to get the whiteboard out and you'll be like, kick him in the junk.
Yeah.
This is the plan.
There's so much work.
Get yourself suspended for Game 5. That's going to fire everybody up.
He is. Okay, that's
hit him in the X's and O's.
Nice.
Yeah, then you hear Draymond talk after the game. You're like, oh my God, this guy's a genius.
Yeah, we know.
He's like Hannibal Lecter. He's a mad genius.
He's going to end up becoming more, I think, of the Barkley variety as opposed to the coach variety.
Yeah.
Media star.
Yeah, I think you're right. But we got to look in the break to find a guy who is disliked.
Who was disliked as a player.
Redick was liked as a player. So, yeah, liked as an NBA player.
No, but he has the reputation. Everyone hated him at Duke.
Everyone did hate. Okay, we'll work on this.
We've got our assignment, 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Coming up, something we never thought could be possible. Someone's attempting to pull off what seems to be the impossible. Get to that in just a moment. Don't move. It's Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Radio.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Time to answer our Ask the Pros question of the day, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Today's question comes from Leonard in Cincinnati. Do you think the penalty for Bob Huggins is enough? Oh, we'll get into that story in a second. Don't forget, you can submit a question by going to cbssportsradio.com/askthepros or tweeting it at CBS Sports Radio using the hashtag AskThePros. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. All right, we haven't weighed in on Bob Huggins. The penalties came down today for the West Virginia coach.
Yeah, so he was on Cincinnati radio, used a homophobic slur. He's now been suspended 3 games to start next season. His salary is getting reduced by $1 million a year. He's undergoing sensitivity training. Listen, they could have fired Bob Huggins, and I think they should have. That is not a word you can use now. You can't joke around about that. And he should 100% know better. This is someone, the only active coach right now with 900 wins in college basketball, Perloff. And not only that, he came to our studio as part of a tour with the Big 12. Bob Huggins is somebody who they put as a front-facing person because he has so much experience with the media.
And he's famous.
Yes. And so for him to do that, it's not just like, oh, you know, maybe this guy was uncomfortable or didn't know what he was doing or got caught in a gotcha question. No, he made this bed. He used that term. He used it twice. And I thought they should have fired him. I was surprised they didn't. I think what they did here is they really tried to go down the middle, right? They didn't want to get rid of Huggins. So with these kinds of penalties, I think West Virginia believes this is enough to show that they're taking this seriously. They're not just letting him off with a pass. And I think they were trying to split this thing down the middle and try to satisfy both parties. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the administration is taking a big hit here. I think they had to keep him on probably because donors probably wanted Huggins, but I think they're going to be a laughingstock. I mean, I don't think they recover from this because the team's not doing that well anyway. And Huggins, so this is going to sound mean, but Huggins is getting older. Seems to have lost his fastball it's a new landscape in college sports, and he is not adjusted to it.
Remember they had Oscar Schwebe, and he transferred to Kentucky.
Yeah. I mean, look at it. He has last year was 19-15. The year before that, 16-17. They haven't done much in the tournament in a little while. I feel like there must have been people inside saying, "This is a great chance to get rid of him. Let's move on."
I don't think so. I think
the administrators. Oh my God, I'm sure they were dying to move on. You don't think they wanted to go younger?
Well, they could have used this as cover if they wanted to, and
I know.
They didn't.
Well, I think they couldn't get it. I think they don't think that they had the support of the alumni. I'm guessing that. I think that's a fair
guess in college athletics. I mean, the donors and the boosters or the NIL collective, whatever it's called these days, are going to have a huge say.
I mean, they look so out of touch here.
I think they're worried about what life is like after him, you know?
Okay, maybe.
Because,
but life with him is not that great right now anyway.
But he's a known commodity. Yeah. As you mentioned, he's an extremely famous college basketball coach. He does have cachet. I mean, he's lost some now, but he does have cachet in terms of basketball for sure. And I wonder if they were worried about the identity of their program.
Yeah, but the other thing, too, is it's basketball, not football. So
that's true.
Why are you taking a bullet for the second revenue sport? They do have a great tradition of West Virginia basketball. I don't really get it. I think internally I'll bet you there was a gigantic battle because there must have been administrators who are like, why are we dealing with this? What's the upside? Because to me, the upside is not that great. And they just look like, he's going to be on there with a sweatsuit on the sideline. They're going to look like so out of touch.
Yeah, 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, so The schedule release, we're going to get more and more trickling out today. Me, not a fan of what the NFL is doing right now.
The evil empire there, screwing your small market Bills.
Well, yes. I mean, me personally, I dislike what they did not about putting the Bills and giving one of their home games away and having them play in London. That's going to happen. Everyone just has to come to grips with that. I don't like that they're getting to play the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have already been in London for a week because they're playing back-to-back games for the first time ever, where the Jags are playing week 4 against the Falcons and then week 5 against the Bills. It's a clear advantage for the Jacksonville Jaguars, I dislike it. Just
so we're clear, so you're saying the league is doing a gigantic favor to the Jacksonville Jaguars by making them play 2 games overseas. I'm not sure that's the common take out there.
No.
I mean, their owner wants to play over there. I don't know if the players and everybody else wants. Do you think they want to be stuck in London for 2 games? I think you could easily argue this is a huge screw job to Jacksonville to make them play 2 games over there.
No, they end up getting an advantage because while everyone else's body clocks are weird and they're suffering from jet lag, here come the Jacksonville Jaguars who get to, get a routine.
They're playing 2 out of 17 games on a different continent. This is not an advantage.
It is for that week 5 game against Buffalo. It might not be in week 4. It is for that week 5 game. No way around.
I think they could have fatigue of being over there. I'm not sure this is going to work exactly like you think it is.
Then I also don't love putting a marquee game, which is Chiefs-Bengals, which has become one of the great rivalries now in the NFL with Mahomes and Burrow. Remember Burrowhead, and then Kelsey ripping the mayor who called it Burrowhead. This has become a great rivalry. They played the last 2 AFC Championship games against each other. Don't put that on New Year's Eve. Don't do that. New Year's Eve, these holidays are already tough for everyone to give you the full attention. Everyone's getting pulled in a million different places. Just give us that game in a standalone place, like on a Monday night game or something, Sunday night when we can really enjoy it.
Yeah, I totally disagree. I think it's going to be one of the highest rated games of the year, and I think it's going to be awesome. It's $4.25 on New Year's, and listen, if you're lame like me and have no plans on New Year's Eve.
Yes, I'm also lame. I don't have any plans. I'm just, what if maybe I do?
I just can't wait to sit there on that Sunday night. But the problem is, I don't understand why, if it's the whole Sunday schedule, then we're not even going to notice this game. The whole thing is going to be on New Year's Eve.
I know. I think
your team's going to play on New Year's Eve. My team's going to play.
I know. But I hope that my team doesn't play like a really important game there, because you're going to end up being distracted.
But it's the NFL. Every game is huge. I mean, the Bills probably have a divisional game. That doesn't matter. It's always going to be competitive. I don't know. Is there that big a difference? It could be pretty much anybody on Monday night. I'm watching.
No,
and so are you. And so is everybody else.
They've got us.
Yeah.
The NFL is no longer just our religion. It's also our family. They come in for all of our holidays now. They're part of the family.
But just look at these holiday games. I do think that they need to put really big games. Those are going to be the biggest games because more people are home. So might as well go big. To me, the most interesting angle of that means that they're not putting the Bengals in the opener.
Right.
And we have a report that they're not putting the Eagles in the opener.
Yeah, the report comes from Donna Kelsey, by the way. Kelsey Brothers' mom said the Eagles are playing the Chiefs week 2 at Arrowhead.
So it'll probably be the Chiefs-Bills, but the Bills were in last year's opener. So I don't know. I'm not sure I'm thrilled about that matchup.
Well, it's not a competitive disadvantage or advantage or disadvantage.
No, I know. But I feel like I've seen Bills-Chiefs. I want a little – I'd rather see – let's look at the other Chiefs opponents. I'd rather see a little new blood in there. Do they play the Dolphins at home? How about that game?
I think that game's in Miami.
Or is that game in Miami? Okay.
I believe so. Also, the Bears game is one of the games they're playing in Germany. Germany gets 2 games this year. One's Kansas City and the Bears, so you can't have that one.
Yeah, they.
I'm sorry, no. Chiefs Dolphins is in Germany. What am I saying? Chiefs Dolphins is in Germany.
Right. So they already took that one out.
Yeah.
See, I'd rather see the Chiefs Lions than the Chiefs Bills. Bring it on. See the Chiefs Bills. Or how about the Chiefs?
Chiefs Lions. That would show you what the league really thinks of the Lions.
Chiefs Broncos. Give me some Russ on the opening day.
Oh, Sean Payton.
Give me some Sierra. Let's screw this. Let's get funky. Let's get wild.
We did this already.
Let's get wild.
How about what if Sean Payton attempted a 64-yard field goal at the end of the game and just was like a Nathaniel Hackett send up?
I could just see Russell Wilson having the worst game ever in that opener. That'd be great.
Speaking just quickly of the Lions, this was an interesting one. Dan Campbell was a guest on the Greenlight podcast, the Long Brothers podcast, was asked about Hendon Hooker, who they took in the 3rd round. If you had your hopes up about seeing him this year, don't.
Really, this is a redshirt year for him. He's got to get this leg right first, and then he'll learn. He'll learn under Jared, And then let's see what happens. If he can eventually become your 2, or maybe down the road later on, it's more than that. But it's going to be a long time.
Long time for Hendon Hooker, who's already 25.
Yeah.
Although that doesn't bother me too much, the age. But him getting back out on the field is going to be tough. So for all the golf lovers and sycophants out there, your boy's safe. I don't know if Hooker was going to challenge him anyway, but
the fact that Hooker fell to the 3rd round said the NFL didn't view him as a starter yet.
Yeah, so. Let's be honest. If he didn't get hurt, he's probably winning the Heisman.
Yeah. Well, he had a couple things going on. He's old, he got hurt, and he played in a really funky spread offense. Yeah. So I think that's great that he's getting a redshirt year. And you know how the NFL is. Everybody's going to get on the field at some point.
I bet we end up seeing him. Quickly, Michael's in Las Vegas, wants to weigh in on Bob Huggins. Michael, how are you, sir?
Hi, you too. Yeah, Huggins should be gone. That was awful. No questions. I don't even want to talk about it. It was just, what message are you sending to people out there when you don't fire him? And $1 million to him is nothing, Maggie.
Yeah.
$500 is tax, so he's losing. This is absolute. Anyways, also, Maggie, you're wrong about the schedule. Just let it go. Come on, you're acting like
yeah, it's May. Just enjoy it, right? Don't start looking for conspiracies.
Have we met?
But
I can't let it go.
But I got to get on you, Andrew. Can you stop dishing the Raiders? You said, oh, what if the Raiders are playing? The Raiders are going to be really good this year. We got Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. We got some key defensive. We did really good on the draft. And we got Jimmy G. We're rolling this year, boy.
I know, but you had so much talent in the building last year, too.
No. Andrew, I wish we were head-to-head against Philly because we'd take you down.
Well, two years ago, Derek Carr eviscerated Jonathan Gannon's defense, so maybe that's true.
Michael, thank you so much for the phone call. Appreciate that.
Yeah, on paper, the Raiders are awesome. We've said that last year, too, but it's just something about Josh McDaniels is my big concern there.
Yeah, Stu, resident Raider fan.
Yeah, I'm not with Michael, unfortunately. I don't think the Raiders are going to be a playoff contender. Maybe 6 wins or something like that, but not playoff worthy.
Here's the thing. If you do have 6 wins, silver lining, I bet McDaniels get fired. I mean, I don't know if that's any solace. Like, we're not wishing for guys to get fired, and that means another person comes in and has to start over and give you the whole spiel about the culture is going to be different and all that crap. But
yeah, maybe bring John Gruden back.
Oh, great.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it was like there's no, we have 6 wins, we're going to get a new coach reason for hope in Las Vegas, because the Raiders have been doing this for the better part of 12 years.
It is crazy. I mean, Devontae Adams, Renfro.
They have the best running back and the best wide receiver in the league.
You got
arguably.
Josh Jacobs back.
They do. Well, they definitely have the best wide receiver.
They do. And that's what's so funny. I'm laughing because it's unbelievable. They have those 2 great players, and they have Max Crosby, who's one of the better pass rushers in the league, and they can't get out of there.
And they have Chandler Jones is a borderline Hall of Famer, might even be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's not going to be remembered for the Raiders years, though.
No, he was pretty bad last year.
He's going to the Hall of Fame as a Patriot if he goes in.
Yeah, no. Thanks for that analysis.
Yeah.
By the way, fellow Binghamton Sports Hall of Famer, I'm imagining.
You know what? He is not in the Hall of Fame.
What?
So
Wow.
You guys know I was inducted into the Greater Binghamton Sports Hall of Fame 2 weeks ago. One of the great joys of my life. I was so honored. I am from the same hometown as Arthur, Chandler, and John Jones, the UFC former light heavyweight champ. Arthur is in. Arthur had a distinguished career as a Super Bowl champion with the Ravens and played for the Colts too, I believe. Chandler is not in yet, and Jonathan is not in yet.
But they'll probably make it in.
Jonathan's a tough one because he might be one of the most skilled UFC fighters in the history of mixed martial arts, but he has a lot of out of the octagon stuff that it might keep his candidacy on ice.
He wants to fight Brock Lesnar, reportedly.
Yeah,
there you go.
Sure. The next SummerSlam?
No, an actual MMA fight.
I know. How would they do that, though? The weight classes are totally...
Wait, Well, yeah, but what is Jones?
Jones can.
He's heavyweight, isn't he?
He was a light heavyweight for a lot of his career.
They can make
but now
it
he's
happen,
up
I'm
to
sure.
heavy. Also, isn't Brock Lesnar kind of over the hill?
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, they wanted to fight before. Like, Jones is, like, kind of, like, politely called him out. Like, let's make it happen at this point.
Yeah.
Lesnar would probably get abolished. But, you fight somebody with a wrestling background, that first 2 minutes would be very tough for Jones.
Interesting. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. Okay, the one thing we're looking forward to tonight, the key, 2 elimination games on the docket in the NBA. We'll tell you about it in just a moment after this CBS Sports Update with Rich Ackerman.
CBS Sports Radio. Sports Flash.
And this report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things bundled today at Progressive.com. 9 teams will play internationally next year. 5 games in the NFL, including the Jaguars twice in NFL first. They'll face Atlanta in London to kick off the schedule abroad, and then we'll meet the Bills next week. The first ever game for the NFL on Black Friday will feature the Dolphins and Jets in New York, and the Giants and Eagles will play on Christmas Day. West Virginia head coach Bob Huggins was suspended for 3 games, his salary cut by $1 million, and his multi-year deal is now just a year-to-year deal. This all coming after he used an anti-gay slur on a radio show. He will also undergo sensitivity training. Baseball today, lots of games, and right now, bottom of the 7th, Washington leads San Francisco by a score of 10-2. Miami and Arizona even at 4, bottom of the 7th. The Dodgers defeated Milwaukee 8-1, while Colorado topped Pittsburgh 4-3. The Yankees swept the A's 11-3. Detroit blanked Cleveland 5-0. Bottom 8, it's Texas 4, Seattle 2. Bottom 5, Houston in front of the Angels by a score of 5-2. And Toronto and Philly right now, bottom of the 6th, Blue Jays 1-0. I'm Rich Ackerman.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. Get to our thoughts on Lakers-Warriors. Game 5 tonight, elimination game for the Warriors. But first, our shot of the day.
He shoots!
And the shot of the day is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos is brought to you by those who drink it. I feel like we're part of a really cool club with Casamigos because you notice it's on all the NBA games. Oh, yeah. It's like we're right in there with all the awesome Casamigos people.
Yeah, I love, Inside the NBA, my favorite show on TNT. Just Ernie, he loves Casamigos. He's so into this sponsorship.
Listen,
it's great.
Join the club,
Yeah, it's really exciting. He just gets me fired up. That's a big point of pride for me. I think about it every night that I watch Inside the NBA.
It's awesome. We're in the club. Okay, so today's shot of the day, snapshot of the show, came from earlier. We were talking about the NFL games that are going to happen in London, and Perloff thought, well, Jaguars having to stay there for 2 weeks in a row, they're at a disadvantage, and here's why. Nick in Texas says, in London, they don't even like their bacon crispy. They're not eating crispy bacon over there?
I don't know. Food is not good over there, generally, historically.
Yeah, I think that's like an old thing. I mean, nowadays.
I was there. I was there in 2014 or something. Well, first of all, they can't do coffee, right? They're tea people. So they have Starbucks there, and they're terrible. I do not remember being blown away by the cuisine. It's not France. Let's put it that way.
Who did Perloff call bougie earlier today? Me? About suggesting that someone might be skiing during New Year's Eve, and you're telling me that the food in London is nothing on France?
I can't believe they scheduled a game. I mean, people have to go off skiing. Well, I'm like,
I said they might be.
You don't think après ski they might want to tune into a football game? Buffy, the football game is on. I must go watch. That was Buffy. What was I talking about?
I don't know. Apparently, anyone who skis is now Buffy, in your opinion.
Yeah, but Buffy is like a 1980s name for the rich girl in a skiing movie.
Yeah, or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I think, is a big one, like a Valley Girl. So that's our shot of the day. Obviously, our big thanks, of course, to George Clooney and Randy Gerber and Mike Mellon and Lee Einsiedler, the best.
Can I just say, I know we're going to talk a little basketball here.
Yeah.
I just looked at the rundown.
Okay, the rundown
It's
from
about
today's
time
show.
with the last segment of the show.
Yeah, now you take a look at it.
The floaters, I think we should write a screenplay about the 4 floaters and how do they connect.
Wait, but I don't think the audience knows what we call floaters.
Okay, floater is a story. We're allowed to explain this, right?
Yeah, it's just a little look behind the curtain. So floaters are stories, and we call them this. I don't know if everyone in the industry calls them this. They're stories that might not make it into the show. They're kind of fun.
Yeah.
And if we get to them, we get to them, and they can kind of go anywhere in the rundown.
I've heard them called kickers, too.
Kickers, too.
But today's the 4 are Tom Cruise pursuing Shakira, hypnotizing Perloff, Donna Kelsey Facebook post, and Pickleball Man.
Can ChatGPT make a story about all that?
Oh, yeah. And how they all connect.
Well, I mean, these are huge stories. One got into the show, Donna Kelsey's Facebook post that said the Eagles and the Chiefs are playing week 2 in Arrowhead.
This is the 3rd day in a row hypnotizing Perloff has been mentioned. I feel like you're working on something
So
here.
here's why I wanted to, do we do this? Maybe. I don't know.
You have the ability to hypnotize me?
Well, what this came from is Noah Syndergaard from the Los Angeles Dodgers apparently has been using hypnosis to try to cure his, his terrible pitching. Meanwhile, last night he was bad again, so the hypnosis isn't working. But I thought I could hypnotize you. Do you want to try it now?
Yes, you have no skills in hypnotizing me.
Okay, but maybe I could. Put the music on.
We have 3 minutes left. You have time to hypnotize me.
I think so. What do I want? I want to hypnotize Perloff to get on board with destroying the Carson Wentz poster. Okay, are you relaxed?
I am quite relaxed.
Okay, good. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Think about the Carson Wentz poster that's behind you, that if we get 1,000 people to subscribe to our YouTube page before the end of the NBA Finals, we'll destroy live on our show. Be relaxed. Don't think about Wentz throwing interceptions, destroying the Eagles' locker room, allegedly. Think about tearing apart that poster, limb from limb, just shredding the Carson Wentz poster. Maybe get some lighter fluid and a match.
Management already said no to that.
Maybe get a golf club, take a big swing, and connect right on the poster. Okay, how did I do?
That was very relaxing.
Okay, cool.
But for some reason, are there any Giants fans here? Because I kept picturing Carson Wentz throwing a 30-yard rope to Boston Scott to knock the Giants out and get to the playoffs.
Everyone knows Boston Scott only scored at the goal line. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, that was really good.
Because you're trying to play defense against this poster when all the rest of us want to get the 1,000 new subscribers so that we can destroy it live on the show. YouTube.com/CBS Sports Radio.
Well, I'm so sorry. I had no idea that's what the floater was. So you had prepared something there because that was really cool. Actually, and your voice was very soothing.
Is it?
I don't think I quite went into a full hypnosis.
Maybe I could help Noah Syndergaard.
Well,
I mean, he's dead to me now that he's not on the Mets, but I could try.
I was going to say, you really want to do that?
I believed in that guy so much, too.
You're going to give up 6 runs today.
Oh, no, only 5.
I think a lot of athletes do that, right? Hypnosis in sports has a long history.
I think it's basically just guided meditation, I think is that the same thing?
I feel like there's the guys who get it are the pitchers, too, because it's such a mental thing. Wow, Noah Syndergaard, good dude. I'm a big fan. He follows me on Twitter. He actually is the only pro athlete who ever comments on anything I ever write.
Is that right?
He hasn't done it in a while. So
is this when he's signed with the Phillies or even when he was with the Mets?
No, I think it was with the Mets. I met him in person, and it was just after he was on Game of Thrones, and we reenacted a death scene on the between breaks. And I was geeked on him because he was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that was a cool off-season for Thor.
He seemed like an extremely nice guy. Of course, who knows now that he's under hypnosis and in L.A. Anything could happen. I'm not sure I want to be associated with him. But, he's a big guy,
really
kind of
gone downhill.
Big, tall guy, kind of reddish hair. Reminds me a little bit of Wentz.
No.
Throws a
Don't
fastball.
do that. Weed Eater Brian is in the chat. The Weedos and the Purple Drinkers says, Maggie can read me bedtime stories. Think I could make it onto like the Calm app or something?
Definitely.
Me and Scottie Pippen reading bedtime stories to people.
Is that what happens on the app?
He's on that. Scottie Pippen
Deep
narrates
voice,
stories in the meditation app. called Calm.
Yeah, he's got a really deep voice.
Yeah. So there we go. Now we just have to get to Tom Cruise pursuing Shakira tomorrow and the pickleball man. Those are the other two floaters that we didn't get to today.
Yeah, we have to make up a ChatGPT story to connect all three.
Okay, we'll try that. Thank you to Stu Kovacs. Thank you to Carlos Ortiz. Thank you to the Weedos and the Purple Drankers.
Wait, are we coming in, or is the Warriors Dynasty over tomorrow? I'm putting you on the spot, Maggie.
I think the Warriors win tonight. Tony Khan, head of AEW, is going to join us tomorrow. We'll see you then.